If you've ever assembled a piece of furniture without instructions and at the end you had pieces left over, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. And if you did it without instructions and you didn't have pieces left over, you're a wizard. You're awesome. Good morning and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Today is going to be Wednesday, and it is a big day out there, Wednesday, February 25th. It is a big day out there because we have NVDA earnings tonight. The big thing that appears everyone in the market is waiting for happens this evening. We'll go ahead and get you prepared for that. And I'm interested to hear what you think is going to happen. Are they going to put up a good number? Are they going to trade higher? Are they going to trade lower? What's going to happen with NVIDIA tonight? We'll talk about that. We'll probably run a poll as well. We've got more news to cover. We've got Tim Melvin coming on today. Tim was great last night. He'll be back on here today. Got a lot of stuff to cover. And of course, we've got trading to do. Should be a fun one. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Wednesday edition for February 25th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. It's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I know I did because my TV show that I'm addicted to, The Curse of Oak Island, made its return after a 2-week hiatus. It's the little things in life, folks. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. Richard Judge is first. Judge, I caught your video very early this morning in a snowstorm. So it looks like our friends in New York are getting pounded with snow again. Judge, I hope you're able to stay warm and dry here today. Even with the snowstorm, Judge is out and about, and he is first in the chat here today. Really good stuff, Richard. Welcome back. Good morning. Astro Kev, good morning. Welcome back. I missed happy hour yesterday, but the web post with Tim was great. Hey, I'm glad that you enjoyed that. You know, I'm always a little bit worried about some of those. We're not really selling any product, right? I'll give you links to the products if that's what you want, but we're more talking about how you can actually use the tool to find stocks. And Tim just opens up his wealth of knowledge, shows you how to use Pro to do it, and then talks about the stocks that he likes. So I'm glad that you found that valuable. We're going to keep trying to bring you all of that content that you find valuable. Thanks for joining us last night, Kev. Corey, good morning. What a speech. Indeed, a fine speech by the president. Welcome back, Corey. Crispy Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. Dave, good morning. Welcome back. Scripture, good morning. Welcome back. Producers locked in. Doesn't matter what time it is. The producer's ready to go. And we appreciate that. That's how we get this show on the road. Thank you, producer. Azrar, good morning. Welcome back. Solitary Soldier, good morning. Welcome back. Jim, howdy doody. Ryan and everyone here. All right. Didn't have that on my bingo card today, but howdy doody to you, Jim. Thanks for joining us and good morning. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Rooster, good morning. Welcome back. HPQ going down on earnings beat and guidance and decent guidance going forward. Yeah, it is down here. It actually traded down to 1687. I actually didn't go through the report, so I would make a call to the group here if any of you have any thoughts on why HP is down despite the daily chart looking like death. After a good earnings report and a decent guide, let us know. Rooster, if we get a chance to pour through that, or if HPQ gives us a trade here today, I'm sure we'll look into that a little bit more. Matthew, good morning. Welcome back. Reaching Financial Freedom, good morning. Welcome back. Let's go. Lost Penny, good morning. Welcome back. Nancy, good morning. Jim, happy hour, question mark. How do you do that? I never get an invite. So the way that happy hour works, again, you have to be a Benzinga Pro subscriber, and you have to, I guess you don't have to, but you should have the platform open about 15 minutes, 30 minutes until the closing bell. There will be a little green/blue banner at the bottom of your Benzinga Pro platform. And if you click on it, it always says click here to join. But if you click on that, it will give you a registration link to the Zoom call. I believe if you don't have spam settings set up accordingly, you'll continue to get that email for the new session from Zoom. A lot of folks join that way. But technically, I invite everybody that is the Benzinga Pro member. It is completely optional, so you would just simply have to click on that. If you have trouble, one of the other things that you can do is you can load up the chat tool and go to the happy hour chat room. Remember, 13 moderates that chat room, and he is on top of that. And if there's ever a problem with the link or someone needs the link manually because they can't find the banner, we're able to distribute it through that chat room too. So Nancy, we'd love to have you. Be sure to check that out. And if you have Pro, go ahead and pop into the happy hour room. We'll make sure you get that. Good morning and welcome back. JJ, good morning. Welcome back. Whis, good morning. Welcome back. Billy, good morning. Welcome back. Circle ND, that's trading up on earnings, and some of the ETFs that track it are also trading up. They're on the movers list. We'll take a look at that, I'm sure. Nick, good morning. Welcome back. Archangel, good morning. Day Trader, good morning. Welcome back. Brandy, good morning. Durkis, good morning. Eric, good morning. Who am I missing here? Lost Penny. And remind me, the first time I rebuilt the transmission, I had a bunch of parts left over. I put the car in forward and it could only go forward, no reverse. Oh, I have a funny story about that when we have some more time regarding Jiffy Lube not knowing what they're doing, but some other time, Lost Penny. I hope you got that resolved. Kenzo, good morning. Welcome back. Tyler, good morning. Welcome back. Kenneth, good morning. Welcome back. Just passing through. Good morning. Welcome back. James, he's back. Welcome back. Ryan. Hey, Ryan says, I love OK. Hey, at least there's somebody else out there and I'm not the only one. Ryan, first of all, you got a great name. Just saying. But second of all, I know this show seems to have some polarizing feelings with the audience. I love history. I love that they're digging this thing methodically. I'm glad somebody else can understand. I appreciate that. Glenn, good morning. Welcome back. Marionetta, good morning. Welcome back. James Bond. Shaken, not stirred. Welcome back. Absolutely love it. Mikey, welcome back. Robot to Trade, good morning. Welcome back. Creation, good morning. Welcome back. And Izzy doesn't even say good morning. He just says Joby is moving. So there you go. Joby is moving. Izzy, nonetheless, good morning. And welcome back. Good evening. Okay. Unmucked your tree. I'm going to call you Unmuck just because it's easier for me. I hope that's okay. Good evening from Singapore. We are global here. Thank you for joining us. Seniat, happy NVIDIA Day. Indeed. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started with our stock market today. All right, futures are green and up here ahead of NVIDIA's earnings this evening here on Wednesday. S&P futures up by 0.33%, Dow futures up by 0.31%, and the NASDAQ futures holding higher by 0.46%. Let's take a look at some cues from last session. My article reset here. I had that all queued up. Consumer discretionary, information technology, and industrial sectors led the S&P 500 higher on Tuesday, while energy and healthcare stocks ended up trending lower. President Trump declared the golden age of America has arrived, claiming his administration achieved a turnaround for the ages by securing $18 trillion in global investments and driving core inflation down to 1.7% at the 2026 State of the Union address. He touted 53 all-time stock market highs while vowing to replace income tax with foreign tariffs and launching Trump accounts to provide every American child with a tax-free investment stake in the equity markets. Meanwhile, Scott Bessent sidestepped $134 billion tariff refund questions, slamming corporate lawsuits as, quote, ultimate warfare following the speech. The 10-year Treasury bond was at 4.05%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.47%. Now, we have several stocks in focus here for you today, and the first one is going to be Workday. The ticker on this one is WDAY, and it plunged 9.51% in the pre-market on Wednesday, despite posting upbeat fourth quarter earnings because it issued forward guidance below estimates. Really quickly, just to clean up Workday here, Q4 adjusted EPS of $2.47 beat the $2.32 estimate. Sales of $2.532 billion beat the $2.523 billion estimate. Small beat there. Workday saw Q1 sales of $2.51 billion to $2.515 billion versus the estimate of $2.53 billion. That was that soft guide that we just talked about. And Workday sees full year 2027 sales of $10.635 billion to $10.66 billion. This was versus the $10.72 billion estimate. The next stock that we have on our list here is going to be HP. And don't get confused because the ticker for this stock is actually HPQ. It dropped 5.11% as it issued second quarter GAAP EPS guidance below estimates. HP Q1 adjusted EPS of 81 cent beat the 77 cent estimate. Sales of 14.438 billion beat the estimate of 13.943 billion. HP affirms full year 26 GAAP EPS guidance of 247 to 277. That was versus the estimate of 273. So the range there, the estimate, comes in at the high end of the range. Just suppose the market was looking for maybe that estimate to be more in the middle or the bottom end of the range. Instead, it's at the top. HP also saw Q2 GAAP EPS of 52 to 58 cents. That was versus the 66 cent estimate. So definitely light there as well. The next stock on our list is going to be HSBC Holdings. The ticker on this one is HSBC. It rose 4.43% after the lender reported a 6% increase in net interest income to $34.8 billion for 2025. It also cut 10% of its U.S.-based debt capital. The next stock on our list is the big one here today. It is, in fact, NVIDIA, ticker NVDA. It was 0.44% higher as analysts expected to post earnings of $153 per share on revenue of $65.87 billion after the market closes here today. This is what all of the eyes are on. And what I would like to get from the group here is a poll on what we think is going to happen. So, producer, perhaps we should make a poll. NVIDIA beats and trades higher, or it beats and trades lower, or it misses and trades higher, or it misses and trades lower. I think those four would probably accurately describe what the group thinks about the earnings and then what the movement post-earnings may be. The last stock on our list is going to be Shell PLC. The ticker on this one is SHEL. It was 0.69% higher after it signed a memorandum of understanding with Melton Energy on Tuesday for cooperation, in liquefied natural gas supply and trading, according to a press release statement. I'm going to cover that here in the news section shortly. All right, let's go back to the chart and maybe, just maybe, we get a constructive day where we look for a break of structure here. We are trading above. Let's see. Let me make sure I get this right. 689.87 is our current price in the pre-market. We are definitely above both the 50 and the 20-day moving average. So right off the bat, in terms of key levels, we definitely want to see the SPY close above these two key levels. It's really been oscillating back and forth. One day it will be up. The next day the futures are up in the morning and the market ends up closing a little bit lower. And it basically does this washing machine pattern that we have talked about here, this chop pattern, whatever you want to call it. What we would love to see here is some continuation from the green arrows here in the future and continuation from yesterday's day. A close above these moving averages would help, but remember, we still are looking for a break of structure here on this sideways formation that we've had pretty much since October. So do we actually have the strength on SPY to push up to 700? And then if we are able to get up there, are we able to stay up there? Are we able to maybe close above 700? Or do we get one of these days where we trade up above and then it just sells off the rest of the day? So this is what I'm looking at here. I know that it sounded very, very similar every single day. The market is just moving sideways. We've also talked about how some of the indices look like they're doing nothing, but some of the individual names are actually in bear markets. Looking at you, software. Looking at you. So we'll see what the SPY ends up doing here today. Again, would just love a close above these levels, but we'll see how the market handles the NVIDIA earnings. And then really, what is the reaction to the NVIDIA earnings going to tell us? Let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. Professor Jeremy Siegel maintains an optimistic outlook for the U.S. economy and equity markets in 2026, citing a combination that clears the runway for stronger earnings growth and market momentum, end quote. Despite a softer 1.4% fourth quarter GDP report, Siegel argues that underlying private demand remains about 2.5 to 3% when accounting for government shutdown disruptions. He views this not as a necessary signal, but as trend-like growth in an economy that faced tariff headwinds. A pivotal Supreme Court ruling striking down the broad tariff authorities is central to his thesis. Siegel believes this, quote, puts a limit on the executive branch, end quote, and serves as a catalyst for less adversarial trade regime. He anticipates a market rotation favoring small caps, industrials, and globally exposed companies that previously bore the brunt of trade uncertainty. Now, in there, the small caps one, I suspect that that's what a majority of us are really kind of hoping for. You'll have to let me know if there's more, something more specific in there, but I would imagine that a broad rally in small caps would be great for our group. Especially if you're holding investments or swing trades that meet that criteria. I know that's what I'm waiting for personally. I know a lot of folks on the happy hour are waiting for that as well. Generally speaking, some of these smaller caps that really make good runs are considered gigantic wealth creation opportunities. And hopefully we end up getting that here. While geopolitical tensions and oil prices remain swing factors, he views potential energy-driven volatility as a recalibration, not a cycle-ending shock. That sounds about right, too. Ultimately, Siegel advises investors to view uncertainty-driven declines as an opportunity to accumulate equity as the long-term outlook remains excellent. Now, the big news here is obviously going to be NVIDIA's print later, but we do have Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin speaking at 9:30 a.m. and Kansas City Fed President Jeffrey Schmid to speak at 11 a.m. All right, one of the big stories that's going on out there is, in fact, this Anthropic story. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has reportedly warned Anthropic that it could be removed from the Pentagon's supply chain if the company does not commit by Friday this week to allowing its technology to be used in lawful military applications. Hegseth called Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei to Washington for a meeting on Tuesday, a development the Pentagon previously confirmed to us here at Benzinga. In the course of the tense discussions, the Secretary of War threatened to invoke the Defense Production Act, or DPA, if Anthropic does not come around. That was reported by the Financial Times late on Tuesday. Invoking the DPA would enable the Pentagon to utilize Anthropic's tools without an agreement. The act, a remnant from the Cold War era, allows the president to control domestic industry for national defense purposes. President Trump and former President Biden both have invoked this act to address medical supply shortages during the COVID-19 pandemic. Anthropic's potential removal from the Pentagon supply chain could lead to legal repercussions, sources told the publication. Such an action is typically reserved for firms linked to foreign adversaries, but in this case, it would also signal that Anthropic's technology plays a critical role in Pentagon operations. Hegseth is also in discussions with AI developers, including Google, OpenAI, and Elon Musk's xAI as potential alternatives to Anthropic, according to that publication. The Department of War and Anthropic did not immediately respond to Benzinga's request for comments, but as always, folks, I will bring you updates as we get them. Anthropic's refusal to permit its technology to be used for mass surveillance of Americans or for the development of autonomous weapons has become a key point of friction with the Pentagon. While the AI startup is open to easing its terms of service, it considers these terms red lines. The Department of War, however, views those restrictions as overly limiting. The company has raised concerns about its AI models being used in lethal missions without a human in the loop, arguing that current systems are not reliable enough for such roles, according to the Financial Times. The company has also advocated for new safeguards to restrict the use of AI in mass domestic surveillance, even when such activities are legally permitted. Meanwhile, Amodei, in a podcast last week, expressed his discomfort with the rapid concentration of AI power and wealth among a small group of companies. He also warned that AI advancements is akin to approaching a tsunami, that many people underestimate its impact. I'm interested to see how this shakes out here. I'll be honest, I think both sides here make a lot of good points. I don't know what the right answer is. I think this is a real tough one. Definitely a good idea to have the advantage, in particular for national defense and all of that, but can't be overreaching. Not an easy problem. We'll see how it shakes out. It's going to affect a lot of these AI companies, perhaps more still when like xAI or OpenAI end up going public. So we'll see how it shakes out, but that's the big story from overnight. Now, Let's get to NVIDIA, because I know that's what everybody is actually waiting for. No one gives a damn about Dario and Anthropic. Bring on the NVIDIA earnings, am I right? Well, let's see if NVIDIA earnings are exciting, because looking at this chart, NVIDIA has been sideways since August. This has basically been dead money. Now, caveat here, if you're able to trade this on a short-term time frame and get in and out with consistency, congrats to you. And a register ring, not easy to do. And I know that the big gains that were made here were made from people that held NVIDIA over the long term from very, very low prices. My suspicion here is that we put up a good number. Ultimately, what I don't necessarily have an edge on is how this thing trades. We've seen NVIDIA put up a good number before and trade down on that. And so really the reaction here and how the stock trades, I really do think is going to be paramount. I mean, we're just sitting sideways here. We are sitting at the top end of the range. So perhaps a good print and a good move results in a break of structure to the upside. And then maybe we can challenge the high here at 213. But I have no position on for the print. I'd love to get the opinion from the group here. Are you trading NVIDIA for the print? Are you waiting for this to kind of get out of the way? Are you trading something else that might somehow be tied to NVIDIA? Let me know how you're approaching this. NVIDIA heads into the Q4 earnings with Vera Rubin launch, China chip approvals, and Meta partnership, but can it keep the record-breaking streak alive? Wall Street expects revenue of about $65.6 billion. That's up from $39.3 billion a year earlier, and earnings of $1.50 per share compared with 89 cents per share last year. The company has topped revenue estimates for 13 consecutive quarters and earnings estimates for 12 consecutive quarters. Current guidance calls for revenue between $63.7 billion and $66.3 billion. This is going to be one of the big numbers. Do we actually beat that? Do we hit that? We'll see. It's only a handful of hours away at this point. Here are three big developments since its last earnings call. We had an early launch of the Vera Rubin platform. Earlier this year, NVIDIA launched the next generation Vera Rubin computing platform ahead of schedule. At the time, the company said the new graphics processing unit delivers up to 5 times the AI training performance of its previous generation. Rubin follows the highly successful Blackwell chips, which helped drive a 66% jump in data center revenue. Products based on Rubin are expected to reach partners in the second half of this year, 2026. In January, it was reported that China had approved initial imports of NVIDIA's H200 artificial intelligence chips for select firms. The authorization, including several 100,000 H200 chips, was issued during NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang's visit to China. Although U.S. regulators approved exports of NVIDIA's H200 chips, Chinese authorities had not yet granted import clearance, creating supply constraints. As a result, the underground servers equipped with 8 H200 GPUs were reportedly selling at about a 50% markup, or roughly 2.3 million yuan. That's 330,403 USD. Separate reports indicate that China may restrict approval purchases of NVIDIA's H200 AI chips to research applications only. NVIDIA has reportedly entered the final stages of a $30 billion equity investment in ChatGPT maker OpenAI, replacing a previously discussed infrastructure deal and tying the investment to a broader funding round. Separately, it announced long-term AI infrastructure partnerships with Meta to advance large-scale AI systems and data center technology. With multiple growth drivers in play, NVIDIA's earnings report will test whether its record-breaking streak can continue. Here's a quick peek at the Benzinga Edge rankings here. 79th percentile for momentum. That actually might tick up to 80 if we do trade higher. 93rd percentile for growth and 96th percentile for quality. Tim and I often do scans for some of these stocks based on some of these metrics. And I'll be honest, at least in my experience, not a whole lot of stocks have numbers that are this high. And I guess that shouldn't really surprise anyone considering we're talking about NVIDIA. But again, producer, let me know when that poll is live, and folks, please vote in that poll so we can get the temperature of the group ahead of this earnings print. Now, we talked about another one of those liquefied natural gas allegiances. We mentioned it briefly here in the open. Here's a little bit more detail for you. On Wednesday, Shell, ticker SHEL, entered into a significant agreement with Melvin to collaborate on liquefied natural gas supply and trading. This partnership is set to enhance Shell's position in the liquefied natural gas market and support its strategic goals in the energy sector. This agreement will facilitate the exchange of liquefied natural gas between two companies, leveraging their respective strengths in the energy market. The collaboration aims to optimize supply chains and improve market access, ultimately benefiting both parties. As per the memorandum of understanding, the two companies plan to supply and trade roughly a half to a full BCM annually over 2027 through 2031. With volumes delivered to Greece's liquefied natural gas regasification terminals and Revithusa and Alexandropolis. Zach, let me know how I did on those and what I can do to be better on that. The arrangement also envisages, I'm actually not sure how to pronounce that correctly, I'm sorry, use of the vertical gas corridor, providing access to broader European markets beyond Southeast Europe. Shell's collaboration with Melvin represents a strategic effort to enhance its LNG capabilities globally. The agreement is expected to bolster Shell's supply chain efficiency and expand its trading network. The partnership aligns with Shell's broader strategy to transition towards more sustainable energy solutions. By focusing on liquid natural gas, a cleaner alternative to other fossil fuels, Shell aims to reduce its carbon footprint while still meeting energy demand. The cooperation with Shell is anticipated to provide a competitive edge in the liquefied natural gas market. This move underscores the importance of strategic alliances in navigating the evolving energy landscape, which has been a big theme thus far in 2026 and looks to continue. The agreement is a testament to the value of collaborative efforts in the energy sector, such partnerships, are crucial for companies looking to remain resilient amid market fluctuation and regulatory changes. By joining forces, Shell and Melvin are positioning themselves to better manage market risks and capitalize on new opportunities in the global liquefied natural gas market. One more thing here real quick. The next story, I want to do this before we go to Tim, but we're going to be going to Tim here in just a sec. I want to talk a little bit about MVO. We've been looking at this one quite a bit recently. We've talked about, hey, where's the bottom on this thing? Where's the bounce? There's likely going to be one at some point. Looked like we might try here, trying to hold 45, traded all the way back up to a 60 handle, tried to close the gap, could not quite do it before rolling over, puking out the moving averages. Now, we're below all of them here. They're all pitched down. It doesn't look great right here. They had a lot of news about the compounders and suing HIMSS and all of that, and the data about their pill and all of that. Now, Novo Nordisk to slash GLP-1 drug prices by up to 50% in the U.S. starting next year. Novo announced plans on Tuesday to cut the price of its GLP-1 drugs by up to 50% in the U.S. starting in 2027. The price reduction will affect the obesity injection Wegovy, its pill counterpart, the diabetes shot Ozempic, and the oral diabetes drug Rybelsus. The new list price for these medications will be $675 per month, a significant drop from their current prices, which range from $1,027 to $1,350 per month. This approach focuses on insured patients whose out-of-pocket expenses are linked to list prices, including those enrolled in high-deductible health plans and co-insurance-based benefit structures. Quote, both of these patient populations should, beginning in 2027, see a benefit with lower out-of-pocket burdens, end quote. That came from Jamie Millar, the head of U.S. operations at Novo. They told that to CNBC. According to Millar, out-of-pocket costs for commercially insured patients using Novo's drugs vary wildly, while some pay as little as $25 per month under optimal coverage. Those enrolled in high-deductible plans must often cover the full list price until meeting their deductible. That's insane. As a result, some patients delay or forego treatment. Yeah, totally get it. With high deductible plan enrollment rising in recent years due to lower premium trade-offs. Novo Nordisk's biggest competitor, Eli Lilly, saw its shares close 1.55% lower at $1,042 on Tuesday after the announcement. Remember, 1088 was the resistance area there on Eli Lilly. The price cuts may push Eli Lilly to reconsider pricing for its rival GLP-1 drugs in the weight loss and diabetes market. So is this a race to the bottom in terms of the price? We'll see. In November, President Trump announced arrangements with Eli Lilly and Novo to sharply cut prices of their GLP-1 obesity and diabetes drugs. On the Trump RX website, Wegovy pills are listed at $149. That's 89% below market prices. While Wegovy and Ozempic pens start at $199, Eli Lilly's Zepbound begins at $299 per vial, which is roughly a 72% discount. Earlier this month, Novo Nordisk CEO Mike Doustar revealed that the companies aim to reach about 15 million new patients when Medicare begins covering obesity treatments later this year. However, he cautioned that Medicare coverage for obesity treatments is unlikely to expand quickly. Furthermore, the company's recent success in a Chinese phase 2 trial of UBT251, a triple agonist of the receptors for GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon triple G, in collaboration with the United Laboratories International Holdings Limited, or TUL, underscores its broader strategy to combat obesity and diabetes on a global scale. Those trial results were released on Tuesday. Novo scores nicely on quality, all right on value, does not have a growth score, and scores poorly on momentum. All right, folks. It's that time. I'm seeing here, bro, there's a 10-second lag every 1 to 2 minutes. Producer, are you seeing that? Maybe a refresh of the stream might fix that. Let me know. I don't see that on my end. I see a host of other issues that occasionally happen, but I don't see that on my end. Producer, if there's anything that we can do to help that, let's let the chat know. All right, folks, it's that time, the favorite time of the week. One of our special guests. Let's go ahead and bring on Tim Melvin and see what he's got for us today. Tim, good morning. Happy Wednesday, boss. How you doing?
Good morning, everybody. Well, we're finally starting to warm up down here, and yeah, look, there is a connection issue here. It's blipping every once in a while, and the screen just kind of blips on me. It's been doing it since I logged on this morning.
So it's just today?
I don't know. I'm not on here every day. I mean, I'm on here.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm on here Wednesdays, so
it's okay. It's not too bad. Appreciate you guys. Jim says it's good. Just some guy said he'll refresh. Yeah, I don't know. And the producer said that he doesn't see that. So, okay, sorry. But I appreciate all of the feedback. Keep letting us know. We'll do what we can. Tim, nonetheless, what do you got?
What do we got? Well, I'm going to just start kind of with the LNG thing. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Because you kind of tripped a switch there that, I just talked about this yesterday in the Benzinga yield report update. LNG is going to be massive, right? We have from the 10 years ago, the first terminal opened. Okay. The exports have grown by 30x, not 30%, 30x over that period. We now have 8 terminals in the United States specifically for LNG. There's going to be more. All right. Sabine Pass, I drove by there last year. I mean, phase 1 is open. Phase 2 is almost open. It's massive. So when we look at LNG, where you want to be is in the infrastructure. Okay. Cheniere is clearly the dominant player in this industry. There's a bunch of smaller ones. Shell is going to be in. Everybody's going to be in it. But in order to do LNG, you've got to get the gas from the Permian Basin or from the Marcellus, wherever it is, to the gasification facility, to the port for export. So what we want to do is we want to own all that infrastructure. And so now we're talking MLPs. Okay. Now my favorite.
There's that little blip you guys talked about. Tim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there's the little blip.
You just kind of fade away. I just fade in and out for a brief period of time.
No bueno.
So now so anyway, you want to own the infrastructure here, right? And Energy Transfer is our favorite ET by far. And this is one where I always just point at this chart when somebody tells me, "Oh, K1s, they're terrible, and you have to file amendments, and your accountant charges you more, and this and that and the other." And how long a chart do you have that you can put up there? Look at this from 2021. The stock has more than tripled, all the while paying an 8 to 10% dividend yield. Okay, so if You only need a few of those, and you can buy your accountant.
That's a good point.
Okay. And if you understand the tax treatment of MLPs, the dividend being a return of capital means that you delay taxation on these things until you sell, and you can actually turn cash flows into capital gains if you're patient enough. Now, for those who really don't want to do this, I like energy transfer, and although it's making new highs, MPLX is another one that we're big fans of. But there is a way to own all of the infrastructure and get a 1099 instead of a K1, and that's closed-end funds. Closed-end funds and ETFs. I like closed-end funds because I like buying stuff on sale. So, right, if we look at KYN, which is Kane Anderson Energy Infrastructure Closed-End Fund. Now, this thing is sitting here. It's trading at about a 12% discount to NAV. That means when we add up all the stocks and bonds and everything and MLP units that this fund owns, it's $15.66 a share. Well, the stock's at $13.80. That's right at a 12% discount. So you've got a 7.3% dividend that's paid monthly on this, and they own 33 different positions. They own Energy Transfer, MPLX, Energy Enterprise Products, Williams Company, Kinder Morgan, Cheniere, TC Energy, all of it. You own all of the infrastructure. So you're going to benefit from increased natural gas production. You're going to benefit from increased data center demand for natural gas. You're going to benefit from the electrification of everything. And you're going to be a huge beneficiary of LNG demand. That's just going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to be the big player. So I can do this and create that at a discount to NAV. Now, since we're building this stuff all over the world, we can also go to the New York Life CBRE Global Infrastructure, MEGI, my favorite closed-end fund symbol, MEGI, which is at a 10% discount with a 9.6% infrastructure. So here you own energy infrastructure, both here and in Europe. You own solar infrastructure and solar fields. You own cell phone towers. You own all sorts of infrastructure all over the world, all over the world. In addition to the energy infrastructure, the coolest thing that you own in here, for those of you in the Chicago area and those of you in the Washington D.C. area, they own a company, Atlas Arteria, that owns toll roads all over the world.
God. Okay.
They own that Chicago, Indiana Skyway.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But they're
You know what, Tim? That might be the biggest beneficiary if the Bears move to Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah,
you might see more revenue. I'm not even joking right now. You might see more revenue from the Skyway Tollway if the Bears do in fact move there. Just as an aside.
Yeah, I actually love this. You can buy it over the counter if you really want to go look for it. And it's paying like a 6-point-something% dividend. And it doesn't care what the economy does because, you know, if you got to go over that road, you got to go over that road. And they own them all over the world. They also own that special little slice of the foul underworld known as the Dulles Toll Road in the Washington, D.C. area. If you've ever driven that nasty, ugly, horrific piece of road during rush hour, you know what I'm talking about. You get to basically pay for the privilege of being tortured.
That's you're really selling it to me here, Tim.
I'm
driven on that, but
no, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not. If you catch it at the wrong time, you will never forget it. Let me put it that way. And so anyway, but you get all this global infrastructure all over the world. You collect a fat dividend, paid monthly, and you're buying all of this stuff for less than it's worth. It just, that's where you need to be thinking when you're thinking about LNG and a lot of this other stuff. You need to be thinking about the infrastructure that's behind it, because the infrastructure, it's all a toll road. Right? The pipelines, everything, you're paying as you use them. They don't care what the price of gas is. Don't care what the price of oil is. We're going to use a lot of it. We're going to need a lot of it for LNG, for electrification of everything, for AI. And that stuff's going to have to go through the pipelines, the gathering centers, the processing, the terminals, all that. And you own these closed-end funds. You own, man, if you're driving down the road and you see a pipeline somewhere in the United States, odds are you own it.
Okay.
And the dividends come out through the magic of closed-end fund accounting. They come in as partnership dividends and they come out as 1099 dividends. And then the other one that I'll point to you is AMZA, and that is a closed-end fund that uses, an ETF that uses a little bit of leverage, 1.25%, currently paying about an 8% dividend. And again, you simply own it all. And Jay Hatfield of Infrastructure Capital, who runs this, is one of the smarter folks in our industry. And I know that because he thinks a lot like I do. And he has actually run oil companies and he's run MLPs. So he sort of has an advantage in his knowledge of the industry. So that gets you exposure to all of the infrastructure. So you kind of triggered me on the comment on LNG. And I remember that I just talked about that. The spread on MEGI is very high because the market's not open yet. Patience.
So real quick, Tim, I can appreciate that I triggered you there. Anytime that I trigger you and you give out more good stocks that pay dividends, that have charts that look like this, I'll keep doing that because that's very helpful for our group here. So thank you for taking us down that road. Nice little bonus there.
Okay. I want to know why somebody thinks I'm in the Dominican Republic.
I can't figure it out either. I think it's because they see the light peeking through the curtains over your right shoulder. I don't know, but you're in North Carolina and it's light there.
It's light. I mean, we got up this morning and the sun came up. I'm sorry that happened. I'll try not to have
I am not sorry that happened for one. So I'll take the other side of that.
All right, Ryan, I sent you a bunch of stuff yesterday that you share with everybody that wants it. One of the most important things that I sent you was a report from S&P. This comes out once a year. It's from the S&P Global Energy and Market Intelligence Group. And it's on copper. And this year, it's called Copper in the Age of AI. And they look at all of the global copper supply. We hear copper talked about all the time. Copper's going to do this. And we found 4 scraps of copper down somewhere in southern Arizona. So it's all going to be okay. And these guys take the real comprehensive look. I think the page is 80 studies, 80 pages or something.
This is 116 pages.
That was 116. Okay. So it just looks at the global copper supply and demand through 2040. It looks at everything: electrification, infrastructure, renewable energy, defense, and copper's like not just suggested for all these things. It's required for electrical systems, digital infrastructure, a lot of military uses. And they look at copper growth is this is going to go up a little bit here, guys. It's going to grow up 50% between now and 2040. Now, the reason that's important is you can't just turn a switch or put a hole in the ground to pull up copper. This study points out that it's usually 17 years from we think there's copper there to the first copper coming out of the ground. Okay.
And it looks like they're saying that they're anticipating that they're going to have a shortfall here by 2040, which is what I'm reading directly from this. Yeah. So you better get started now.
10 million metric tons of copper shortfall. That's a massive percentage of the global supply. Asia is going to be most of the growth, about 60%, and North America and Europe will be the rest of it. And that's primarily going to be a result of AI and renewable energy.
And Tim, here's another little caveat there. Average copper mine takes 17 years from discovery to... That's insane.
17 years.
Okay, I'm glad that you brought this up. Real quickly, let me clean some of these comments up here. First of all, they thought you were in the Dominican because of the clock behind you. This guy's got some sharp eyes. His twin optical scanners are working pretty well here today. Evidently, your clock is stopped and reads 9:45, so it's only right twice per day.
Guys, here's how you know my wife is out of town. I forgot to change the batteries in the clock.
Okay. Well, there you go. We got to the bottom of that one.
We'll get that one fixed.
Really quickly, Astro Kev saying, is there a link to the copper article? So Tim sent me 3 things. Unfortunately, they're local files. So what you should do is shoot me an email. I'll go ahead and throw my email here in the chat. If you want, shoot me an email. I will respond to your email and I will attach all 3 documents that Tim is going to reference here today. This is the first one. So he had already sent those to me. Happy to distribute them, but you're going to have to email me. One more comment here. We need to get silver sorted first before jumping to copper. I can understand that feeling as well.
Well, you know what? Copper long-term is going to be more important than silver. All right.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, copper's massive, guys. Copper is the guts of everything. All right. We're talking electrical systems. The amount of copper that goes into an EV is like shocking. The same thing for renewable energy panels, everything. Copper's, it may be a little bit more important long term than silver. And fact of the matter is, we have to be focusing on both of them. And ERO Copper, I want to thank you for bringing that up because that is a position in Trade Alerts that has just actually been screaming. We have pretty good copper exposure in the Trade
mhm.
Alerts newsletter on the momentum side. But, they really get into this. Here's where all the copper is. Here's what has to happen to bring it up. Here's what we have to do now in order to make this, because that 10 million ton shortfall, that's if everything goes right. Right. So there's no revolutions, no governments get overflown. There's no earthquakes that wipe out a segment of the global mining industry. There's no regulatory issues. There's no wars. None of that stuff happens. So, longer term, whether you try to own directly the commodity or you go for the miners, copper is going to be huge. Now, I sent Ryan a list of copper companies, global ones that trade here with ADRs. I put in that they had to trade at least 1,000 shares a day, because some of these ones that trade 2 shares a month, I mean, why bother? So I just, kind of sent a list of some of the copper plays that are in there that you're going to want to keep track of, because copper is a political metal, right? And it's going to go up and down with disruptions and, things that are going on. I
Here,
think
let me see if I actually might be able to just copy these tickers
I
at
think you
least.
I think you can, yeah.
And just let's see how this pastes into the chat here. Oh, yes, it pastes with the space. There you go. So here are the tickers from the spreadsheet that he had. I will include this if you, excuse me, if you email me and want these documents, I'll include this one. But at least the tickers there are in the chat, Tim.
Yeah, and just some guy does make an excellent point in that, usually if you find silver, you find copper, and if you find copper, you find silver. So, but yeah, copper shortfall is going to be a big deal. So when you see weakness, and I think there's an ETF. I think it's actually, I have that one, so just hold on. There's an ETF that's direct ownership of copper that you can just add when there's just a whole bunch of weakness going on out there in the world. I'll have to find it and I'll send a link to Ryan, but there's a couple direct copper ownership ETFs. But some of those select miners on there, Southern Copper Corporation, London Mining out of Canada are going to be big players. And then the other one that I don't think that you want to go to sleep on is Glencore. Glencore is a mining and materials company. They sort of have everything. When we look at Glencore, they've got copper, they've got silver, they've got critical minerals all over the world. They've got coal, they've got gas, and they own the stuff, they trade the stuff, they ship the stuff. So it's quite a portfolio of assets. I'm just looking for the symbol here very quickly because it is an over-the-counter one. But they're a big player going into the Asian markets. GLNCY is the symbol. It's not exactly cheap at the moment, but it is just going to be a massive player in all of these metals, but particularly copper over the next 20 to 30 years. And the Asian market is critical. So I think Glencore is kind of the way that you want to be playing that. So anyway, there's just some thoughts on copper, some great stock picks, but let's just kind of roll through some of the other stuff because I don't want to leave everything on the table this morning as I have a habit of doing. We got a paper from Citadel, and Citadel said, okay, here's what's really going on underneath the market. Now, look, nobody knows more about what's going on down underneath the market than Citadel, because Citadel is the plumbing. They're the largest market maker in pick one, right? They conduct exchange activities. They kind of see almost every trade. And if they don't see it, their friends did. And I'm sure they talk about it over cocktails. But this is the guts of the market. And the central message from the Citadel Securities Market Internals Report is that headline index stability is masking some massive internal change going on in the market recently. Below this flat S&P, Ryan, you made the point last night. S&P is basically flat since October, but we're seeing huge reallocation going on within the market. This is not really necessarily based on the internals a risk off market. Now, they said that retail trading activity is running at record levels on Citadel's platform, and most of that is buying risk, right? Buying the dip. And retail sector flow, particularly in options, has been materials, real estate, financials, industrials, and tech. Energy retail has been selling energy. What is the matter with you guys? Stop that. But you're seeing this whole, because we're all focused on NVIDIA and a handful of things, you're seeing these massive cash flows go on underneath the market, and absolutely nobody is talking about it. But the money is starting to shift away from this mega cap story towards cyclical, real assets and valuation sensitive sectors. In other words, it's heading directly for my pocket. So I am very grateful for that. And the other thing they point that the study says, look, liquidity is thinner. The markets don't have the depth that they used to, and passive flows are dominating the market. Now, the passive versus active discussion is one that goes on and on and on. And I don't have a gospel opinion on this. The one thing I will say, in a crash or a severe sustained correction, passive flows will go from your best friend to your worst nightmare, because they right. If I put a sell order for a managed mutual fund, the manager can pick and sell his more liquid stocks and kind of sell what he wants to. In a passive situation, it's usually an index, so you have to sell according to the index guidelines, which means you could be selling very liquid stocks during a really bad market. In other words, headed directly for my pockets, because I love that stuff. I look for it in market sell-offs. So ETF inflows and cash flows are going to distort the way the market trades. Even as we've gone up, 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 up every day, hedging is increasing. Put volumes are increasing, particularly on the index. So people are looking at this and going, okay, I don't want to sell. I don't want to run. I don't want to get out of my positions, because who knows how high this thing could actually go. But we're going to start to hedge it off a little bit. And that's not the worst idea that I have ever heard. I'm a massive fan of using black swan hedging techniques, because the cost is extremely low. The probability is very low that you're actually going to get hit too, because you're only hedging huge shifts. But if it hits, the payoff can be pretty enormous. So, to some, retail flows really strong. The mega cap story is ending. Passive flows are distorting moves. And then one other thing that we're seeing that Citadel points out is that massive amount of AI-driven CapEx, 640 some billion, is the number that I saw from Apollo this week. That's really distorting corporate allocation, right? Because it's not going to dividends, it's not going to buybacks, it's not going to acquisitions. It's all from the tech companies anyway, going into this AI-driven capital expenditures. So it's kind of changing some corporate capital allocation strategies. So the next paper, and I sent this one to Ryan, and if you have anything, if you want to hedge, you do anything with options, this is a really important paper. It's called Heretical Thinking. And it says that long volatility doesn't have to just be a hedge or insurance cost. When you integrate it properly, it represents a positive long-term risk premium that improves compounded returns. Now, Spitznagel and Taylor have been saying this for a long time. And it kind of works, because people hate, we had a long talk about this last night. People hate strategies that only have occasional payoffs, right? If you have to take 10 small losses to get one massive gain, most people can't stand the pain of the 10 small losses in a row. So that's what kind of makes this paper work. And he really goes into the math of it in the paper. So, and they're just using, out of the money put options. They rebalance it on a regular basis, which is where most people screw this up, right? Including me at times. You buy the longest possible put. That way you only feel the pain once. However, if you rebalance this monthly, you're going to recapture smaller profit moves that you would have missed by using a longer term option. So there's more transactions. 10 years ago, that would have made your cost a lot higher. Today, they only make your cost a little bit higher. So if you're interested in using long volatility, long option strategies to hedge your portfolio, to improve the returns on your portfolio, it's not going to make you rich by next Tuesday. But it is going to do some interesting things for your long-term total return. And the one big point in the paper, and this is the one that Taleb and Spitznagel have made over and over and over again. If you are hedged against the worst of things, right? And Anne-Marie and I did this, and we continue to do this, and we'll continue to do this in Trade Alerts Accelerator, right? If you've got hedges in place that protect you from the COVID sell-off, from the great financial crisis, from the internet bubble, right? The stuff that, will keep you awake at night if you think too much about it. The stuff that changes your lifestyle if you get hit by it, right? If you can protect against that, you can take more risk. Right? You can own some slightly more volatile stocks. You can get down into and have the patience and staying power to get involved in some deeply undervalued, deep value situations. So you can be a little bit more aggressive if you're properly hedged. This paper, you know what? It's kind of up there with and it's by a firm called One River. It's pretty easy to read. You got to know a little bit of math, but newsflash, Claude will do it for you.
I was going to say you could always drop it into the AI tool and make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, now Claude will do it for you. And this is something that nobody else does, right? Because it's aggravating to be doing the hedges, and you're going to lose most of the time. Absolutely guarantee you're going to go out, you spend a 0.25%, and it just seems like such a hassle to do that on a monthly basis, right? And you're going to lose most of the time. But when you get paid, you're going to get paid big, really big. So, and it keeps your house, your house burns down. You want to get paid really big, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a really cool paper, and I highly recommend it. Okay. And then real quick, because I know I'm running out of time.
Yep. We're almost out. All
right. Chill it. All right. And email Ryan and ask you if you want this. Japan is undergoing this massive reworking of the market system, right? And there's lots of bad headlines that are raising interest rates, inflation. Ignore it. You're seeing a massive shift in corporate culture. This is one of the world's largest deposits of conservative savings, but low yields have starved these guys, right? So you've got a whole bunch of positives going on within the Japanese market. You're seeing takeovers, you're seeing activist campaigns, you're seeing private equity, you're seeing the government say, get your stuff together and get the price of your stock right, or we're going to delist you. Okay, massive changes in corporate governance in Japan. So I pulled up a list of stocks that have great fundamentals and trade at very low multiples of the cash produced by the business. These are ADRs. They all trade at least 1,000 shares a day. So you got, a good chance of getting filled if you're patient, put the order in. I could not be more bullish on Japan. Anytime you pick up the newspaper and somebody's taking a poop on Japan, get your orders ready, get out there and buy this stuff, because over the next decade, I think it's going to be the best market in the world.
Okay. All right, Tim, really good stuff again. A lot of content covered. As a reminder there, anyone that wants those documents, just shoot me an email. I see a number of you already have. I will reply with all of them zipped up together. So, Tim, appreciate it.
Yep, no worries. I'm going to go put some batteries in my clock now. Thanks.
There you go, David. You got him to replace the batteries. Well done. And you know what, Tim? Your wife will be proud. So enjoy the time of being right about everything until she gets back.
Oh, she's not going to be proud, because this house will be a mess by the time she gets back. I'm going to be in all kinds of trouble. But at least, as we talked about last night, for the next week or so, I get to be right all the time.
All right. That's a good place to be. Tim, we really appreciate it and your expertise. Have a good one. We'll follow up with you next week.
Have a great week, everybody. Thanks.
You're welcome. That is Tim Melvin. Always good for a laugh and some insight into some long-term trends there. Yes, guys, I will reply with all of those. Just give me some time. We'll go ahead and do that here. All right. Next, I do have one street tweet for you. Let's go ahead and get that done. All right, and this tweet comes from Ross Gerber. Ellison comes back with $1 more. This is regarding the Netflix Warner Brothers Discovery takeover. Come on, how weak is that final offer? Zash should hold on the 33. Netflix is still in pole position, and then he throws in the customary capital LOL. So I guess I'm still thinking that Netflix is in P1 here too. I would imagine that when this is all said and done, it will be Netflix. I know we've talked about Gary Black says no matter what, the stock's going back to 100. Really, the key takeaway here is that this overhang just needs to end. When it does, we'll probably have a trade on our hands here. I think Netflix will inevitably go higher from this, but Ross Gerber, not impressed with the final offer there. Definitely thinks Netflix still in that pole position. All right, let's go ahead and cover the movers, get you all ready for what's going on, and talk to 13. Let's get you prepared for the market. The pre-market pulse starts right now. Oh, I got to bring 13 on. There we producer. Oh, man, we are just dropping the ball here. 13, good morning. Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good this morning. Had a little entertainment last night, and now we're seeing a little bit of a market reaction to it. So interesting, we had a whole bunch of earnings as well this morning. That's really what's up that I think we're going to be paying attention to. So
you want to start with those? You want to just roll through some of those charts there? What do you got for me first?
Rocky, RCKY. So this one, Rocky Brands. Now, I looked at this one because it was up, but this one has barely traded any volume, so there might not be a trade here. But just going to put it on the radar. It was up one of the ones that was up the most. It has 6 million shares in the float. It's already profitable before they had these earnings. It's just low volume, so maybe just keep this on your radar. See what happens after we open. And if we get better trades. This is the lowest volume one I covered this morning. It was just up the most.
Yeah, and this is sometimes I say why I apply some of these filters on the scanner and the movers tool, and I say, yeah, well, we don't necessarily want to trade a stock that's up 20% on 2,000 shares of volume. Well, lo and behold, Rocky here is up 25.38% on 2,049 shares of volume. So your point's well taken there about this being low volume so far.
Yeah, just it might trade better once we open, but this is one of the ones that I'm going to have the least conviction on. It's just that we're going to be seeing a theme here as we go through this list because a lot of these companies, as a matter of fact, every single one that I covered this morning is moving on their Q4 earnings reports.
Yeah. Okay. So Rocky includes brands like Rocky, Georgia Boot, Durango, Lehigh, Creative Recreation, and the licensed brand Michelin Footwear.
Yeah, so I mean, Sydney Sweeney could give this one a lift, but they haven't got to deal with her yet. So we're going to deal with this low volume for now. Maybe this trades better once we open. But nice double bottom there.
And you know what, though? I know it is low volume, but the move here up to 42, this actually takes us above that recent high and breaks the trend line. So, okay, cool. What was the other one that you had?
Next one, you know it pretty well. Ticker YOU.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping you were going to get to this.
They had earnings this morning. And the earnings were good. This company is already profitable. It already had a pretty good amount of short interest. So I think we're getting that short squeeze element here as well. Let me just pull this up. And company has 54 million shares in the float. This is also moving on Q4 earnings. But the guide is what I think really got this going. The estimate was for 237 million. And they guided in the range of 242 to 245. So quite a bit of a jump there. And, I like this company. I already have a position in it. It's a small position, but this in the identity verification theme. They also have a contract with CMS, which is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, to manage Medicare.gov. So I think that's I think I'm not sure if we're seeing the contract money show up here on the balance sheet yet with this earnings report, but something to come through and see if it's on there. We might see it next quarter, but I don't know how big that contract was, but I have to think it's pretty substantial, being that CMS has billions upon billions to spend on their infrastructure and their internet services.
Okay. This is a really good call, 13. When I came in and I saw that this was up, I was like, all right, really good stuff. I know we've talked about this a lot, of happy hour and here in the morning show as well. What else do you have for us?
Well, it looks like if we continue up, which I think we will, there seems to be a bit of a resistance area between 43 and 44, and we're on the way there right now. If you look at I think I was looking at either a daily chart or weekly chart. Yeah, I think the weekly chart would look better. As soon as we get up into this area where we had these highs from December, I think that was when we also had the shutdown and the stock solid lift. That I think we're going to run into some resistance around that area, and that is between 43 and 44. So going to be wanting to see what happens up there. The high was shortly after this IPO'd. It got up to 58.48. I don't know that we'll see that today or the remainder of this month, but we're on our way back up in that direction. So just need to see what happens around 43, 44 if we can get past it.
I went ahead and took the liberty of drawing a trend line that connects these highs on the daily and the weekly. This actually gives us a target, and it is right in that 33 to 34 area that you talked about right there. So, all right, what else you got?
Next one. You also know about this one, Circle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was, I'll tell you what, when I checked out the movers tool this morning, it was Circle and a bunch of the levered ETFs that were on that here. Circle up 20% on the back of its earnings. This is what your daily looks like.
Yeah. And this one also moving on fourth quarter earnings. Let me just hold on a second. I got to pull this up 1 second. Didn't have this set up here. So this one, big EPS beat. That's, I think, the primary reason we're seeing this move here. This has reported several different quarters where they lost, they had negative net income, and they also had quarters where they posted positive net income. So this should be profitable, especially with this EPS beat. The company does have 194 million shares in the float. So I would think that unless this wasn't, a lot more, if this wasn't a lot more popular, I don't think that it would trade as well because of the size of the float. But I think we'll get a little bit more, a better price action with this one than we normally do with these floats that are like approaching 200 million shares. Right now, though, with Circle, I do see that $80 is a bit of a resistance area. And I think I noticed that from the daily chart here. Let's see, where did I get it? Yeah, so when I was looking at the daily chart, we are above the 50-day SMA, which is great. But we have this sideways consolidation that started from December, beginning of December last year, and lasted until the middle of January. This sideways consolidation that I'm looking at as a supply zone where we could find some resistance. So we'll see what we end up getting once the regular session opens. But I anticipate that $80, that area in there, will be a little tough to get through because of the consolidation that we have.
And it really kind of looks like this is between 80 and even 90 at its high. So that area there seems to be that 10-point range. Okay, good on Circle.
And then finally, the one I looked at, well, you were talking with Tim, and he was giving out all his good information, is UIS.
Unisys, all right.
Unisys. This one also moving on, not a whole lot of volume, as a lot of these this morning. But this one had a pretty decent setup. It is moving on about 375,000 shares. This one also on fourth quarter earnings. This company does have revenue, but it's not profitable. So still a bit of a ways to go for that. If this is going to provide any trades for us, we're going to want, we have a trend line on the 5-minute chart that I'm sure you'll see as soon as you look at it. And when I was looking at this earlier, we were kind of caught between the 65 EMA and the VWAP. Looks like we're on the underside of the 65 EMA now, so that's not great. But if this does manage to find support in this 240 to 250 area before we open and we capture the VWAP, we'll want to see this trend line break upon a recapture of the VWAP as well. So that's what I'd be looking at with UIS. So not a lot of really high volume movers, but just a lot of great movement off of Q4 earnings.
Yeah, no, that's good. Set the stage there, and obviously there are a couple that we talk about pretty often in there. So, all right, really good stuff. Let's go ahead and do the movers here real quick. 13.
Isn't that what we just did?
Well, I mean off the movers list here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, I think that's all the ones that were looking good this morning, because other than those that I just mentioned, you basically have leverage ETFs that are moving today and penny stocks.
Yeah. So one more thing here real quick. So the first three here on the actual movers tool are in fact leverage ETFs for Circle. We also had BNAI, which has recently made a pretty huge move. Did this have news? No news here. It's up 16% now on no news. Traded 1.15 million shares, has a float of about 4.7 million. This thing made a huge move for us not long ago. Short interest has come down after that recent big move, still at about 7.27%, 1 day to cover. So I don't know if you have anything here on BNAI. There wasn't a news catalyst, so I totally get it if you don't.
Well, there's a lot of different names that were moving this morning that we had just traded. Like, for example, IOVA from yesterday. That was
that's OVA. Yeah, no, I saw that.
That was up over 10% this morning. Yep. It's come back in a little bit, but some of these names that we were trading previously are still getting a lift. So kind of wanting to wait and see what we get out of the open with these, because I get the sense that some of them are going to pull right out of the gate. BNAI though, this we did hit a after hours high of 34.50. We're trying to come back up and take that out right now. So we're getting a little bit of resistance on the way up. I would think that if we do get to 34.50, we're going to initially get met with resistance and come back in to support area and try again later, or we're going to blast right through 34.50 in a scallop pattern, and that's going to take us up to, let's see where this. Oh wow, this thing just had a really wild amount of price action earlier in the month. I forgot about that, or last month. Yeah. So we could end up entering a bit of a gap if we get back up to over 34.50. Because at about 35, there's a gap that we created from going from the 29th of January to the 30th of January. Yep. So that would be what I'd be paying attention to next if we manage to enter that gap by getting over 34.50.
Okay. Good stuff there on BNAI. So we took care of a lot of these. FRGT, that's up on no news. BNAI up on no news. I also saw that the 2X Solana ETF is up. Day trader, was there anything that we needed to know about Solana? I know that you trade this often, or I should say you trade the coin often, not necessarily the 2X ETF, I don't think. Let me know if there's something that we missed there specific to Solana. Yeah, what do you got?
I just want to say good morning, Jay Rice. Thank you for the shout out for Albemarle. That actually hit my target this morning. I just didn't. I saw your comment. I was in the middle of trying to look at all these stocks. So $200 is my target for Albemarle for 2026, and here we are at my target in the second month of the year. So this really didn't. This happened way earlier than what I was expecting. But it's okay, because I'm still going to stick to my plan. I'm going to offload a little bit more of this next week, and then I'll just sit on the small amount that I have thereafter. But this one, I noticed a lot of mining and lithium stocks were doing really well. Lithium Americas is up this morning as well. So it's been great. Albemarle's been great. I just didn't expect it to get to my price target so fast.
Hey. Better fast than slow. That's what I always say. All right, Albemarle, this is pretty good, and this actually above that recent high too. It looks like we have perhaps some more upside action on there. The only other one that was on here, SGML, this is Sigma Lithium. Shares of lithium exposed companies are trading higher after Zimbabwe's government suspended exports of raw materials, including lithium concentrates, effective immediately. So you also talked a little bit there about Lithium America. That's ticker LAC. That is up on the exact same piece of news. So those trading in unison there. We also talked about IOVA. That looks like it's getting a continuation of yesterday's move, which is pretty awesome to see. And then some of the other tickers that are on this list, like AGQ. These are going to be some of your metal ETFs. This has been another pretty good trader. So you're right. We actually did take up. There was one there I forgot to mention. RXRX. Recursion Pharmaceuticals. We've traded this one before. This, I believe, did have earnings. Yes, this had earnings here this morning. EPS, a 21-cent loss was better than the 27-cent loss loss that was estimated. Sales of 35.53 million beat the estimate of 24.56 million. So pretty good report here for Recursion. Stocks up 10%. Conference calls over. Short interest on this name, high on both regards. 33.69% of the float is shorted with 8 days to cover just about. On average, stock trades 21.5 million shares. It's done 3.4 million here today. Floats thicker at just shy of 500 million, but with that short interest, you could also have a move going on here in RXRX. Okay. I think we can probably, for the remaining 15 minutes here, we've really hit everything that we needed to hit, I think, from this list. So we can do ticker time if you want. I know that's always kind of a favorite here. What stocks do you folks want to see?
I was just looking at some of the names that Jay was mentioning here. He made a comment about how it's amazing that TAN and Enphase is holding up despite First Solar. And, I don't know if First Solar is just on their own having a bad time because they seem to have some kind of, financial issue or some kind of problem. Their Q4 earnings were worse than expected. They guided below estimates on their guidance. So I don't know exactly what's going on with First Solar, but we're seeing a lot of, solar farms still pop up throughout the country. So I don't necessarily think that the solar in general is doing bad. I think it's just this company and maybe under the hood, where the problem is for them.
Baird analyst, and I don't have this report, so if anyone has access to it, I'd love to read it. Baird analyst Ben Callow downgraded First Solar from outperform to neutral and cut the price target from 264 to 205.
Yeah. So
that's going to be ticker FSLR.
Yeah, so I like I said, I'd have to look and see exactly what's going on.
They also reported earnings, I believe.
Right, that's one of the biggest reasons why it's down. They reported the missed estimates on both the report and guidance. So I think there's something else going on that separates it from the rest of the pack. Because solar is doing fine right now. There's still solar farms popping up everywhere.
Okay, I would say call to action for the group den. If you have access to that Baird report or if you can summarize it, let us know. We'll share that here with the group. As far as the chart goes, 13, right to the round number 200. I know we're actually beneath that by about a quarter here, sitting right near that 500-day moving average. I would think this is another one probably needs to bounce, or there might be some more downside, maybe even to that 170 level.
If there's a bounce coming, then I think it really is going to be worth it to read into the report and find out why this is not faring as well as the other solar names. I think it's if you want to feel more confident about that bounce that you say is coming, then I would definitely look into that because for me this still looks like we could go lower. It's not the greatest looking chart. I would definitely read that report.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you know if I get my hands on it. 13. Next one here. This is one that Izzy came in hot with earlier. We've got Joby. Joby has earnings today after the market closes. It's actually up 5.5%. You can see right here on the daily chart, did a really good job holding above the 500-day. We're actually trading up here now, 5.5%. And it's on the back of this news, which is fresh this morning. Uber and Joby Aviation launch Uber Air, in-app electronic air taxi booking targeting Dubai debut this year.
So the debut this year in Dubai, that's new, but I feel like we've already heard some of this news before about a collaboration to have Joby and be the Uber of air taxis or work with them. So I don't necessarily know if that's new news, but that news about Dubai and debuting this year, that's certainly new. The concern I have here with
I feel like that's closer than we thought for these.
No, we've been talking about how this year we're going to see some of these in the air. Archer's looking to have these in the air for I think it's that's the Olympics. That's 2028.
That's what I'm saying.
We were talking about having these in the air as early as this year. For another reason. So this is not unexpected, but this death cross here in Joby, I'm a little concerned about. We need to hold up on the 500-day SMA, and we're currently facing some resistance at the 20-day SMA. So in a bit of a spot right now. Not sure which direction we'll go, but if we start closing over the 20-day SMA, we might be able to make this death cross short-lived.
Yeah, day trader here says they're going to be testing this year for sure.
Yeah,
I'm interested in the results of these.
And see, John, you're right. Archer is also a part of Dubai. Archer and Joby have been, getting, broadening out and getting it everywhere. I mean, into the U.S. military, the Middle East, lots of different places. Just not so much Asia because I think EHang is kind of the big one over there right now. But yes, lots of and Izzy, Joby News is old. I thought it was, but some of it seems to be new. Like the debuting this year, I think that's new.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, we've talked about that before, and then also, as he mentioned, the earnings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else do you want to take a look at here? You guys are saying Ondas. I can take a look at Ondas here real fast. I didn't see any news on that. Here's still what we're waiting for on Ondas. We on the decline here. We actually drew the shape that we wanted this stock to take, and so far, it's actually not disappointing. We're above the 50-day moving average, as I've been saying the last several sessions. Definitely want to keep closing above those. Do have maybe 11.5 in sight here. If we can take that out, that 11.5 area was resistance before as well. So taking that out probably puts us on deck for 15 again. Let me just double check and make sure that there wasn't any news here. I don't think so. Yeah, this is interesting. So the defense budget super cycle nobody saw coming. This is going to list several different defense companies, including Ondas in there, but this is not company specific news. My thought on a potential defense names moving after the State of the Union. There wasn't a whole lot in there about defense, to be honest with you, but actually looking at some of those here today, DFEN up another 2.5%. Remember, I took 100 calls for this for March, and then ITA was the other one here, took to 265s for April. Both of these look okay, so we'll see if we get some continuation here today. But I would imagine that as some of these defense names, Ondas 2 should move with that. Remember, Ondas a leader in anti-drone technology as well. So all of these will kind of move. We'll see if we get an opportunity to maybe ring the register on this here.
When it comes to Ondas, the daily chart, it's great, and we're above the 50-day SMA. I like the weekly chart better. As long as we continue to get support from that 20-week SMA, and we've just kind of rebounded off of that and trying to move up away from it now. I think that's the moving average I'd keep my eye on. No closes underneath that since capturing it back in May of last year. Also on the monthly chart, there's we are a little bit extended, but we did silver cross in I think it was going from December to January. So maybe after a little bit of sideways action, we do end up going higher because those silver crosses tend to precede more upside.
Yeah. Okay. TEM was another one here. 13. I'm going to have you break down the chart on TEM, and I'm actually going to step away for just a sec. I'm going to start here on the daily, if that's all right with you.
Sure, that's fine.
I'll be right back.
All right. So what's going on with Tempest AI? This we have this trend line here that we draw some time ago. We didn't quite get down there to test it in February, but we got pretty close. Looks like $50 was more of a support area than this trend line. We are recapturing the 20-day SMA, trying to get back above the 50. That seems to be the big moving average suppressant right now. We did, have several prints above it in January, but no real closes. Maybe just one on the 16th, and then right back up beneath it. So that's it. Looks like it still needs some more time, but we are trying to get back up to 60. It looks like. Weekly chart, we still have a bit of a ways to go. 60 stands out even more as a resistance area. So yeah, we really need to get back above that, or it looks like we could break down even further and maybe even lose the trend line that we got there. And we've also lost the 20-month SMA, so that's also not great. And I think that's what I'd kind of be leaning on right now is we need to see this price recapture 60, or else we fall out of this, or we probably lose the trend line in the future. I think that's what I'd be kind of settling on right now, because coming off this high from 104, 105, this has been just a massive drop. It's literally been cut in half. So if we can't recapture 60, then I think what happens next is that we go on to lose 50. I think that's what might end up happening here. So we need to see a close above 60 sometime next month, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, G-Man, it does look like it's still trending down. I get the sense that this is probably has more downside to it, and I'm just trying to, offer that olive branch of, hey, maybe it doesn't continue lower if it can recapture and hold above 60. That's kind of where I'm at with this. If it can't do that, then yes, I think that this downtrend continues.
Okay. All right. Any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at before we open here?
Anything?
Software tonight, CRM, ZM, and Snow. CRM, I know we spend a lot of time talking about NVIDIA here. CRM also reporting here. I still think we're probably coming in to test this trend line before we reverse. What else did you have here?
Ooh. Yeah,
I'll go back to any of these that you want, 13. I just wanted to roll through some of these here real quick. ZM, don't see a whole lot here. Snow. This actually looks like this is going to go lower.
Well, if these have earnings tonight and they are trading down into earnings, I think, to Jay's point, there may be, even if the earnings aren't, knock your socks off, great. Positive earnings may still give these a lift because of how much they've been hammered down going into their earnings print. This is something we've seen before, where if the stock trades up into their earnings print, a lot of times they end up selling after their earnings.
You're right. Well, here you go. Brian saying long CRM for earnings. The fear selling was overdone, and the beat is going to give some life back to it. Also, 33.96 RSI here. So as 13 was just kind of alluding to, this thing has traded down into its earnings. Maybe that sets it up for a pop there.
Yeah, and on a daily chart, if this does, start to come back up to the 500-day, then we may have a bit of a double bottom here, which would be good. It would be bullish. Nice pattern set up here. It's just that we got this death cross that happened earlier this month, and that's not great. So really need to see, a price turn around off those earnings, because if it's not a great beat, then this will certainly go lower.
Okay.
I'd say 140 is probably your next spot beneath 160.
Okay. I'm just going to keep running through some of these just in order here. VIR. This is VIR Biotechnology. Alpha, you're bringing this up. Got second, but still up. Got second.
I don't know.
Had an offering. Yeah, I think that the secondary offering, I think is what he means. That now I got it. Now I got it. Now I got it. Yeah.
200 million stock offering.
And that's still higher.
Yeah. I mean, well, hold on. I'm just trying to see when that news came out. That was shortly after. Okay, so
yeah, that was after the close yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to see if what the price did at the time of that news, and it doesn't look like it really did a whole lot of downside at all. It said, okay, cool, and kept going.
Just some guy says, Ryan, if I fold a piece of paper into an airplane and throw it, is it still considered stationary? I love the dad joke that you incorporated into that relatively benign question. I would say that that's very much like a superposition from physics. It is, in fact, both. How about that for an answer? Nice dad joke, though. I actually might, I like that so much, I might repeat that for the group on Friday here at work.
You heard it here. Ryan invented quantum planes.
Oh, I would love to be able to say I invented that, then, raise some money off that. Oh, that would be fun. Okay. All jokes aside, though. And then here, you know what? You're bringing this one up too. I'm going to talk about this just here for a sec. PayPal. This is one that we've looked at quite a bit. We actually did have some news yesterday, and we're going to do a little bit of a victory lap thing right here. Starting with the daily chart, and here, DMath, since these are too dirty for you and you can't really see what's going on, let me turn some of the indicators off so it will be a little bit more clear here. PayPal curled up off 40. It looks like it's put in a bottom. Now we are in the gap. My next question here, does this gap fill up to 52? Now, the victory lap here is yesterday, anyone here that is a Benzinga Pro subscriber, if you had Squawk, this was a very, very quick day trade. You could have got anywhere between a point and 2 points, depending on how quick you were on this. As soon as this rumor came out, as soon as it was squawked, this stock started spiking higher. It actually pulled back and went back up, gave you a chance to reload that. Here's the question for the group. Do we think that the bottom is finally in here in Pain Pal?
I don't think so. We're about to open, but I'm curious to see what happens between 50 and 50.
Oh, my God. Sorry. Lance, your joke there about hockey rinks is just so good and crispy. I'm definitely going to use that one, too. Okay, we're open. Let's see what we got here today.
I don't think PayPal's done going down yet. I would need to see a recapture of some levels first, and we're not there yet. AMPX, this one out of the gate, getting a lift. We didn't look at that one, but that's one of the battery plays I've been keeping an eye on. Not doing a whole lot out of the gate here. It is kind of sideways. Unisys, we're coming up to that trend line that we drew and trying to break it. This one also kind of moving on low volume. This one is a mistake. Circle, trying to push into some new session highs, some new pre-market highs. We'll see if it can get up there. BNAI, this getting support from the 65 EMA. RXRX, this one having a pretty good time out of the open here, but I do see some big seller at 410. That might provide a bit of resistance if it can get up there. Iova, this dropped down to the 65 EMA and bounced. Now it's coming up to a resistance area where there's a seller at 430.
SPY here is straight up out of the gate. So we actually recaptured 690 there, 691 now.
So is VIR. This just blasted off out of the gate, went up to 1030.
VIR. Sorry, I'm just trying to roll through these here. Trying to get my shading back too. There we go. VIR. And actually, RXRX was the other one that you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this one here, too, this actually pretty good on the fair value gap here. I'm not in this, unfortunately, just because I was doing those other things. But here's your fair value gap. We actually tested this and curled up off of it. So nice little move there for RXRX early here. Let's see if this holds.
LRMR. This is on a rip right now.
LRMR, gotcha.
Yeah, just straight up and still going. It just blasted through the highs from yesterday, regular session and pre-market.
NASDAQ at the highs, SPY at the highs, Dow still holding about where it's at. Tesla ripping out of the gate here. How's NVIDIA doing out of the gate here? And actually seeing some bull call flow.
Rocky, the one we were from this morning, one of the movers, this is coming up to the after hours high of 45. So this is what I was talking about, it not taking this off your radar. We might, I was saying we could get some better movement out of here, and here it is. It's still kind of low volume, and it's spready, but this is why we didn't want to take it off our radar, because it was kind of setting up a favorable pattern, and here we are looking at $45 now. I don't know if it's going to break through. It'd be great if it did, but just be careful if you're going to trade this. The spread's almost like 68, 65 cents. UIS testing that trend line, trying to get through it.
VIR continuing.
Circle higher, 76.05 now the high.
CRCL, let me bring that up here. That's not really going much past its past the open there. HPQ, okay, interesting. This got everything back so far from that earnings pull down. You were asking earlier, I think it was Rooster, asking about HPQ earlier here. This actually did red to green. Red to green here. Up by about 1.5% now. Wow, nice move.
Mover from yesterday, VNDA. This also up. Yep, this one also up. Movers having a good morning. Getting rejected by that trend line for Unisys. We got a little bit of rejection, but trying not to go a whole lot lower. We did lose the VWAP, but we are above the moving averages. Looks like we're getting all that upside movement that we had is now coming back in.
Tesla continuing to move, seeing some Netflix calls getting traded, seeing some NVIDIA calls get traded too ahead of that earnings. As I only see calls here so far. MicroStrategy is up out of the gate. How's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin here, 66,500. And by the way, the VIX melting again. That actually sub 19 now on the VIX.
Good stuff.
Netflix, indeed. Netflix ripping here. So we're trying to recapture 80.
Now, I was hearing that, or reading that this new deal, because I know that you brought up an opinion that it was kind of, they laughed at the $1 a share more, but it's like another like $6 or $7 billion that that Skydance Paramount is bringing to the table. I think that there were some articles that made it seem like the Warner Brothers Discovery deal might like to go more the direction of Paramount Skydance. I'm not sure I see that, but that's what the article was suggesting. And I think if they end up going that direction, then that's a lot of cash that Netflix isn't having to spend. So I would expect them to get a bounce off of that if they're not going to end up acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery.
I think this is as soon as that overhang is over, I think this is going to trade actually a lot better. Maybe the bottom is in. Izzy seems to believe that is the case. Zach, take care of yourself. I hope that you feel a little bit better. I too am not 100% here today.
Take care, Zach. We want everybody healthy here. It's hard to trade when you're not feeling great.
Oh, it's the worst. I don't even do it. I try not to look at it. That's hard too, by the way.
Okay, so Unisys, we're still hitting that trend line here, looking for a break over it. Just volume isn't that great, but that doesn't mean that we can't get the moves we're looking for.
Here you go on that trend line.
Rocky, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say FIG continued after yesterday. This nice little impulse move back to the 15 EMA, right back up to the highs. Now more extension on this here today on FIG.
Wow. Okay, so LRMR and VIR, they're both kind of trading similarly. They've had this massive candle out of the gate. They're still holding above VWAP, and they're trying to push higher. Looks like VRMR is going to need a lot more volume because there's a sellers stacked up like every 5 cents from where the price is. So we need to see some increased volume there. Mirror not having nearly as great of a time, but it is getting support from VWAP. So we need to see that hold up if we're going to push higher.
VIR, this is rejected at the gap that it made yesterday. I don't know that that's necessarily going to stop it all day, but so far that has stopped it here so far. Oh, that doesn't make sense. GNRC. Oh, what did I do wrong there? 3D. Here's GNRC. This is Generac. We were talking about this one recently too. This higher as well. Did we have news on this? This up 2.5%. Nope. No news on that. Just looks like a continuation here. Generac.
I mean, could it be that it's off of some of this winter storm in the Northwest? Because that's what I was asking earlier about. Could Generac see some more of that? And it's a little bit out of seasonality, but just something that we were thinking about. And I wonder if that's the case. But you look at the amount of shares traded today, and I think that's when you realize, well, this is really not a whole lot of anything. 72,000 shares. Not a whole lot traded today.
Kathy also mentioning FN. That was one that we've been looking at the past couple of days. Fabrinet, that has continued.
That was from Jay Rice. He gave that to us a long time ago, and it has been doing fantastically.
And yesterday it busted over the trend line, back tested it, and is now trying to go higher here today. And then Light, the other one that Kathy is looking at here, LITE.
So LRMR still pushing higher. It found that volume. That's looking great. VIR still holding above VWAP, not quite following the path of the LRMR just yet. IOVA still trying to go higher. It's running into the same resistance it had in the pre-market. it looks like 420 is the big level for this to get over. And then if it does, then there's a seller that has to deal with at 430. Okay, so we're getting more rejection in UIS on that trend line. Looks like some of these are weakening. Rocky still holding up above VWAP. This one looks like it's trying to push higher above 45, but volume just isn't there right now. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of a pull in some of these. Some of these are still going and haven't weakened yet, but others are not.
Navitas, this up 12%, 14% now. Navitas new highs here. Don't see anything great yet for entry. Don't really see any entry setups. I know that SPY ripped out of the gate. I was actually hoping for a little bit of a pullback and a reversal on SPY, but didn't get that, at least not yet. See if that changes. Tesla stopped right at 420. No, I'm not joking.
Elon likes that. Lite, L-I-T-E. I haven't looked at that one, but I know you did. Oh yeah, this one's really pricey. Let's see, what is this? Where's this going to go? Okay, so this just made what, new all-time highs? Looks like it.
IBRX, we talked about this one yesterday, seeing some put flow into this. Multiple put sweeps here. This actually putting in, on this intraday chart, putting in what looks like a triple top. Maybe we got some more downside here. IBRX.
Yeah, I'd say that was a triple top. Well, maybe. It looks like that was trading more into an ascending wedge or ascending triangle, but losing some of these levels here, I think that kind of invalidates it. Let me see here. I was looking at light because that is a massive move. Okay, so this is short squeezing. It has to be. %20 of the float shorted, and this is just big moves. What do they do? California-based technology firm, optical and photonic products. Okay, so lasers, more of the things that we were looking at as a theme.
You know, I heard early this morning, speaking of themes that we had been talking about, I heard early this morning that I think it was a guy from Piper saying that he has kind of a renewed emphasis on optical and imaging stocks, which is something that we talked about in reference to the whole drone theme as well. Nice to hear that getting some more coverage as well.
Yeah, because robotics are going to be the next hot thing.
Robotics, drones, a lot of that stuff, you're going to utilize AI and the data that comes from those sensors.
I'm having a hard time taking my eyes off of Rocky. This is looking like it's setting up to push through 45. It's just doing it on very low volume.
Is there a trade there?
You know, I think there is. It's just difficult because how do you get these fills with how spready this is? I mean, the bid is 44.25. The ask is 44.89. You kind of just have to put your bid out there and see if it'll get filled or not. I mean, it looks to me like under 44 or like around 43.85 was the spot to enter. So, and again, I don't know how great this is going to be because of the volume is so low, but it looks like it's setting up to push through 45.
Jay here mentioning the Qs are ripping, but the small caps are red. Indeed, actually, SPY looked like it was taking a break there for a sec, but that now looking like it might try to resume to the upside. Excuse me. QQQ, to your point here, ahead of those NVIDIA earnings, Q's moving. How's NVIDIA doing? Actually, we saw that traded up out of the gate initially. Okay, still kind of holding in there. Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
You okay?
I just don't feel 100%. I don't really know what's going on.
Targets for XWell. So I was looking at that one. I noticed that one this morning, but that was a penny stock. I'll take a look at it though and see what's going on with this because it's up, like over 100%. It's our only 100% runner, but it's a penny stock. Let's see here. So maybe there's something going on here where you could make a trade off of it because it does have a pretty decent setup here. It had the run up. I don't even know what the news was that's moving this up here. 31.3 million private placement. So it's getting cash without diluting the shares. Floats 5.3 million. And we've got this this pattern here that looks like it wants to take out 110. And we just got over $1. Maybe this goes on a bit of a run here. But it
looks like we need to take out the after-hour high there at 110.
Yes. That's what I was just mentioning. It's looking like that's the level to get through now. Do we have a trend line here? No, it's not going to work.
PayPal might be teasing some new highs here.
I would say if the volume continues to expand in XWell, then yeah, that 110 area, that's going to be the breakout level. Let me see if there's anything else we can find on the daily chart. So it does look like in the past, when we have gotten over $1 here, it has been having a hard time getting over 130. And that's been the case since March last year when we lost that 130 support. So that's what I think that's where the resistance is going to be, 130. I don't know if we'll get through that or not, but I'm just looking at a daily chart and thinking, man, it's a tough spot. We need a significant amount of volume to get up through there. And if we do, then you have more resistance coming up at 160.
CoreWeave here, someone mentioned this earlier. This recaptured 100. This actually has earnings tomorrow afternoon. And looking like we're getting a little bit of a run into those earnings.
I think I still am leaning on my target for that. I think I mentioned 120.
Oh my!
Or for CoreWeave.
Right? Sorry to interrupt here, real quick. IBRX big time put sweep. The 550 puts. These expire January of 2027. These are where the other put sweeps that I just spoke about are, but this one much higher. Let me see. Yeah, IBRX traders spent $1.23 million buying 10,000 550 puts for January 15th, 2027. IBRX, big time bearish bet. The strike's 550.
Circle getting weak, as was being pointed out. CoreWeave, where is? Let's see. We have earnings after the market close tomorrow. So this recapturing the 20-week SMA, and that's important because if you look at if CoreWeave and you look at a weekly chart, the 20-week SMA, this is the level that the price has been trying to get over since the start of the year. And we've been hitting it, printing over it, not closing above it. Today, that might change. And if it does, I still like 120. I don't know how much higher or lower we're going to go after that, but 120 is, since we hit the low in November, that's been the area that I've been keeping an eye on. I think 120 is where the price goes for CoreWeave.
I do see a little resistance here at about 110. I also have a fib level that's right in there at 110 on CoreWeave.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like 115 might have more resistance, but I still like 120. It's kind of at the top of my my chart here, or my trend line.
Izzy, what's the target on Netflix? Where are you looking to take gains on Netflix? Okay, interesting. XOM oil name here down by about 0.5%. Oil's actually down here too, down by about 0.3. Looks like the oil name's trading back down in unison here.
There goes XWell. Went up to 117. We broke that 110 high from the after hours. Don't know how we're probably going to go. We could go to 130, but I don't know how much higher we're going to go after that. So maybe a short-lived trade here.
SPY new highs. NASDAQ still at the highs. That's being helped out by Palantir, Netflix, Tesla, Apple. Even Palo Alto gave its dip back here this morning.
So the market running into NVIDIA earnings, huh?
I mean, so far. It's still early, though, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Breath looks good, too, across the board. SPY, Dow, Qs, Russell, Nice, all positive breath so far here, right out of the open.
XWell at 122. We're just 8 cents away from that resistance area I pointed out. Let's see what happens. It might even actually halt here. I think it's gonna. And there it is. It's halted. All right. XWell. Hey, shout out to, who brought that up? Daniel, Shout out to Daniel for having me bring this up. I think it was a pretty timely mention because shortly after I looked at it, it did this.
Daniel, 30% of the account on Xwell. I hope it keeps working for you, my man.
Wow. Okay, well, just keep those levels in mind. I don't want you to give any of that back. All right, let's see what else.
Yeah, as far as Netflix go, looks like there were 55,000 of the call spread bought here. Let me actually grab you those strikes there, Izzy. The call spread here was May 90 to 105.
Replay Game Lab is switching his position along on IWM at 264. So he's taking advantage of this weakness, I would say. And what's your target, your price target to take gains?
Nice trade there, Daniel. Good stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. Great job. Yeah.
RYAM. This is Ryanair Advanced Materials. This was a good mention. Kathy was on this earlier. Didn't check it out though. This had impulse move, pullback, and now an impulse move after the open here. This looking like, what does the day chart look like on this one?
I'm sorry for laughing. I was seeing this get brought up in the chat, and I thought it was a typo. They were trying to get your attention. So
it is what it is.
Yeah. Hit the like for my main man, Ryan.
$10 does look like the resistance here, but this is a nice move. Earnings in 6 days on this one, Tuesday after the market closes.
All right, let's cycle through these and see what's looking good, what's not looking good. Unisys lost to 65 EMA. That's not what we want to see. Needs to recapture that and the VWAP, or else we're kind of come down and test the 200 EMA.
You're asking about HIMS here. HIMS had this was from actually yesterday. Now we had news for Novo here. Novo was actually down. HIMS had a bunch of price target re-ratings yesterday. They range anywhere from 24 to 13.25. It was actually a downgrade from BTIG as well.
LRMR had continued to go up higher. 468 is the high. Now we're getting a pull here, coming down to 435. Might provide some support, but I think you also might get it from the VWAP at 430. You have a couple of stocks that look like they're trying to go higher. Not sure if I don't think they have the volume to, but we could get an expansion of that pretty quick. VNDA, that looks like that's trying to get through 9, and VIR, that looks like we're trying to come back up to 1065. Currently trying to get support from the VWAP here. If we get an expansion of volume, I think we can come back up to 1065. Lockheed Martin getting crushed, but that thing was on a massive run and it needed to come back in. It really did. Let's take a look at a chart for this one.
I have this right at the 15 EMA on the daily, just below it actually.
Yeah, this is coming down to the 20-day SMA. We have not gone beneath that since we captured it on December 8th. So that might be a support area. We'll have to wait and see if we end up getting that. That value is going to be at 636.42. So we'll see if we get support there. If we don't get support there, the next support is going to be either 620 or 600.
Then for LRMR, this actually set a high there, 468, trying to pull back to the bottom end of this candle. See if it gets some support there around 438-ish.
Movers have been pretty good this morning. Not great, but good.
Market is cooperating with it.
Yeah.
Ondas, by the way, you guys were talking about that pulling here. That's actually gone back up now. Ondas up by just shy of 3%.
Iova hit a high of 431. VIR, the ones I was mentioning that had a good setup, that's trying to push up higher now. It's not at 1065 yet, but we are moving off the VWAP at least. We'll see if this can climb higher here. Seller in the way at 1046. VNDA, this still trying to do something, trying to get over $9. Not able to do that yet. Kind of losing the VWAP in the process right now. We're going to need to see this hold above, I would say, 865 if this is going to try to go higher.
LRMR pulled right back to that 438 spot and bounced, but boy, that had to be, but it didn't quite print 438, did it? I have that printing. I have that printing 438 on the head and a bounce. We'll see if we set some new highs here on LRMR. Is he mentioning UMAC? That's another drone play here. That's higher by 6%. How's RCAT doing? That would be another drone play here. RCAT's green, barely, but hanging on by. This actually looks very similar to Ondas, this chart. Intraday here for RCAT. IOVA?
IOVA is still slowly climbing. We're coming up into an area where there's more sellers, large concentration starting at 440. But we're still moving up, so let's see if this volume can expand and take out those sellers. Rocky sideways, but holding above the VWAP. Still looking for that break over $45. NVDA, this lost VWAP, it's coming down to that support area. We'll see if it can hold up, but I'm not sure if it will. VIR, this is still trying to push higher, but it's doing it on very low volume. So
Maxwell is open and pulling off of its high. Well, I think I have that high here, 132.
Okay, so we got to 130, and now we've kind of backed off that. We'll see if this comes back in. If this gets support from 110, we may be able to set up to test and maybe even break over 130. But that's what I'd be looking for next, support from 110. It may not even get it. It's getting support from 120, but I'm still waiting. I'd still be waiting for 110.
Joby back to test its VWAP here at 1010. This is after that pull that pretty much negated the entire impulse move here in the pre-market. Looks like we're trying to bounce from that area.
Lunar down big, says Jesse Cherry, and that is correct. This is pretty getting pretty hit. 14% down. They did have some pretty high short interest. Let's see if there is any news associated with this move. Advancing satellite communication space, strategic investment. All I see is that they announced a $175 million equity investment by global institutional investors. They also had some news late last night about announcing a date for their fourth quarter earnings. I'm not sure if I can attach this big downside move to either one of those pieces of news. Maybe there's something in the Form 8 that spooked investors out of this. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Offering today.
There's an offering today?
And that's what Izzy's saying here. And by the way, LRMR did set some new highs after bouncing off that 438. Congrats to anyone that was in that. That actually looks like it might test 5 here on this move.
So, okay, so that's what the 175 million is?
Sorry, I didn't want to flip to my news tab, but I'll do it here. Yeah, this says a $175 million equity investment by global institutional investors.
Okay, because I guess what I was not quite, it wasn't quite clicking at that as soon as I read that is that they're issuing shares for this. I thought this was just, global institutional investors, taking a position in the already existing stock, but it seems like they're issuing more shares. So I guess that makes a lot of sense then to me.
Yeah, it's exactly right here. The purchase agreement with the institutional investors for the issuance and sale of company Class A or common stock in exchange for a $175 million equity investment. Transaction is supposed to close on Friday, February 27th.
Okay, that headline I kind of got a little misled with, but I understand it now. Thank you.
Still dilutive though.
It is absolutely dilutive. It's just that when I see that it's announced as an equity investment, the first thing I think of isn't issuance of shares. I think that, because a lot of times you see this headline, they're taking a position in it. Although I think that would be followed up with some kind of filing that they did that. So that makes sense. Diluting, yep. Ryan moving close to 10. No price. I thought they mentioned the price in there. Hold on, I think they did. Let me see real quick. At a price of $15.12 per share. So $15.12. So there's your potential floor in today's movement. All right. Meanwhile, Veer still trying to push higher, looking for 1065 still. VNDA that got some support down at the 860 area. Looks like maybe it was a little bit lower, but in that area I was looking at, hasn't recaptured VWAP though. LRMR continues to print new highs. 476 is now the high.
LRMR at least gave you a pullback there. This RYAM, this looks like this thing is just screaming higher. If you didn't play that there from the pre-market, don't really see a setup on it.
Lots of sideways action on these names we were looking at in trading this morning. And look at XWell, still not able to go beyond 130, but let's see what this current candle does. Seller in the way at 130 now too, stacking up larger amounts of shares.
Apple's higher, PanW went red to green. How's Tesla holding up here?
And there's 10 in RYAM.
Tesla 420 resistance still holding there. Kava, did anyone play Kava for earnings? This is definitely nice action on Kava here, and a nice break of structure too from the after hours impulse move.
That is a big recapture of the 200-day SMA.
Yeah.
I would be thinking that should this continue, which I imagine it will, we're hitting our head on the 500-day.
Price target got up to 90. What do you have the 500-day value at?
I have it 1 penny short of $88. So pretty
I'm not
pretty
here
close.
to argue facts. Played Kava. Way to go.
Hey, excellent. That was and you know what? We're getting close to a golden cross. That's going to happen next month if we hold up with these prices here. Also, this is super interesting. I had a trend line on here from a while ago. I used it to kind of give myself an idea of where a further breakdown from last year might occur and where the resistance could be after that. So if you draw a trend line from the lows of October 3rd, 2024, and the low from January 13th, 2025, that gave me an idea of when we were coming back down in February last year, if we broke down where it would had happened at, and certainly we broke down from that level, and when we came back up, this was the same trend line that provided the resistance before we saw more downside.
Is this it? It was.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, so right here.
Yeah, and I drew this trend line before we even got the breakdown from last year, because we were talking about how this was, already looking bearish, overvalued. Yeah, so this trend line here, we just recaptured it today. IBM flying, PayPal going up, Microsoft going up. So let's look at IGV. How's that looking?
Sustained up move here from PayPal on the back of that rumor yesterday. Nothing was a done deal, by the way. Stripe was the one being mentioned. Here's your IGV chart 13.
And this is right. We got support from that consolidation. I don't know if you drew the consolidation rectangle, but this was from, let's see, from like the high of February 2021 and the high from November 2021. That whole range there created a bit of a sideways channel. And when we came, the price came back up in 2023, 2024, we danced around in this same channel before we went higher. And this channel has also been providing resistance. It provided resistance in 2025 with Liberation Day. I'm sorry, not resistance, support. It provided support in 2025 from Liberation Day. And we're getting support from it now down at that 76, 77 area.
Here you go, 13. This is what I got for.
That's my triangle. My rectangle.
Yep.
My rectangle. So what happens next? I think that we need to see a recapture of the 20-day SMA. I get the sense that we may get rejected. Right now, the 20-day SMA is at 83.96. Call it 84. I'm going to put a line at 84 right there just to see if that ends up holding up here. But 84, that's the resistance I see going forward here with IGV.
Okay. Looking through the rest of these here.
XWell seems to be stalling. Well, remember we was looking at that earlier, and 130 was the resistance area that I was finding from the just looking at the chart, the daily chart. If you want to look at the daily chart yourself, you can see that this 130 area was previously support back in 2023 and 2024, and then in January last year we lost this area, and since then it's become resistance. You can see multiple attempts to recapture this, only to be met with the very next day of selling. So 130 is the big resistance area that we have to get over, and after that you still have a pretty large area to get through because there's so much consolidation from 130 all the way up to about 240.
I'm sorry, it's 13. What ticker is this?
This is XWell.
XWell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jay. Here's kind of the thing that I'm seeing right now with these defense names. They've had a great run, just an absolute massive rally on the heels of all this, Venezuela and Iran conflict and whatnot. They've become very, very extended, and I think there was also part of maybe a rotation into some safe havens to hedge against some market downside. Now that the market's ripping right now, we're exiting out of those safe names that have ripped. And we're going into some of the more beaten up ones like PayPal and IBM, basically the software names. So I think we're seeing more rotation.
Okay. Yeah, I did not get the follow through on some of the defense and aerospace related names.
Well, I was trimming Lockheed because this thing was it was going past my price target. I was starting to sell this like at in the 620s. And this thing continued to rip, almost went to 700. I think, I'm sorry, 675. So I was continuing to sell into this strength because I think this was getting way, way extended beyond where fair value was. Now we're coming back to the 20-day SMA, which is great. I don't know if we're going to hold up. We might even come back in some more, maybe down to the 50. If we get to down to the 50-day SMA, I think that that might represent a pretty decent buy spot. We'll see. It really depends on what the market's doing at the time it gets down there.
Jay asking, Ryan, did you stop drinking Jose Cuervo? They cut their dividend and it's a disaster. The ticker's DEO. Jay, I got news for you. I stopped drinking tequila a long time ago. I was back in college. I don't mess with that stuff. That's devil stuff. No tequila for me. But you're absolutely right about this being a disaster.
Gosh. So off of earnings there. So here's one that we're looking at here. It's not Q4. This is first half of their fiscal year. Missed earnings by what was it, 600 million, and missed EPS by 1 cent. There must be something else going on here that's pulling it down more. Where's this company based anyway?
LRMR continuing to go higher. I'm sorry, 13. I'm watching this on another screen. This actually pulled back to the VWAP and bounced nicely off of that. More new highs here. Volume still looks excellent on this. LRMR, grats to whoever traded this. This was the mover of the day from that small list. Grats on Netflix, Izzy. Thought you said don't sell, but nonetheless, that was a good trade anyway.
Okay, well, DEO, I think I may have found one of the reasons why it's going so much lower. Their free cash flow dropped by a 202 million, and it decreased. It's just There's just not a lot of great things happening out of that company financially at the moment. But anyway, back to some other better stuff. What were you just looking at?
LRMR, I'm just really impressed. This is one of the best movers of the day here. Yeah. This pulled back to the VWAP, gave entry. I was complaining earlier about not really seeing a whole lot of setups here for entry. LRMR, it happened fast. It pulled back to the initially it pulled back to the fair value gap, bounced right clean off of that, but more recently pulled back to the VWAP that gave pretty good load there. XWell exploded to the upside.
Oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, this is another registering. Here's one for Izzy on the Netflix trade. Here's one for the XWell traders on the XWell trade.
Yeah, this thing turning into a real ripper. Let's look at
5 coming on LRMR.
So we did get through that 130. We still have a lot of consolidation to deal with. I just talked about all that. So we'll see what ends up happening here. I think it'd probably be better just to temper expectations for this, because that is a lot of supply to get through. And we're going to halt again, it looks like.
143, man, oh man. That and LRMR. That's some winners on our hand here.
Yep.
Market trying to, or SPY, I should say, trying to hold on to 690. It did push up to 692 and backed off that spot. We'll see if it can hold 690. NASDAQ also pulling back just a tad.
Jay, you're saying DEO cut the dividend? That would make sense, because losing, having your free cash flow decline like that, I'm sure that you're going to need to cut your dividend.
A lot of put sweeps on NVIDIA, by the way. So NVIDIA traded straight up to about 197-ish. But I'm seeing a lot of put sweeps come across. So I guess there's some call sweeps as well, but a lot of option, a lot of positioning here in NVIDIA. I don't know if I can really get a read off either of these.
LRMR $11 price target, huh? It's going to take a lot of volume to get there today. Now, you tell me that that's going to happen sometime next month, I could believe that.
Some of the other software names that you guys follow regularly doing well here today. Here's AppLovin. This bouncing back. This looks like this is trying to go to 420. I think Lowe's had earnings today too. That's down 4.5%. That actually is the opposite of what Home Depot did. How's Home Depot doing here today? Okay, so Home Depot, wow, that gave everything back. Home Depot right back to 373, gave everything back from that's earnings yesterday.
Let me see here with Home Depot. Got a bit of a, we have never been able to get back up to the 2024 highs. Still haven't been able to do that yet. And this 50-day SMA, man, looks to me like 370 is going to get tested here, and it's going to have to hold up. That's been a support area all year, and that's now where the 50-day SMA is. So I think 370 has to hold up, otherwise we head lower. We go down to the next area is going to be 360.
Zoom pulled back a little bit too. Oh man, I don't really have a whole lot here for you guys. I'm sorry. PayPal, more new highs. Bitcoin at the highs.
Light consolidating, looking a little bit weak here. Volume has been kind of fading. Watch for a loss of the VWAP.
Jay here saying, Ryan, retail not acting great. TJX, they guided lower and they bought the dip like they always do. It's a special name. It's TJX.
There's 511 in LRMR.
That busted through 5. I'll tell you what, that was the stock du jour here today.
We're getting into a territory that may see a gap fill, and if that happens, we're likely going to 6. See that gap from the from December 13th to 16th, that weekend gap? This is actually 2024. I'm sorry. I just realized.
Yeah, right in here. No, I'm with you on it.
Yeah. So if we're about to get into that too. Let's see. We just need to go beyond 517.
Wow.
And then that'll take us up to 6. If we fill.
What a move on LRMR there.
Who? It doesn't sound like you took it. Who took this?
I did not take LRMR, unfortunately. I was looking on it on that pullback. to the initial fair value gap. That was back all the way about 438. It actually tapped it perfectly and then ripped from there. Kenneth is still in. All right, Kenneth, what's the exit plan? Trout Bum, nice job. What's the exit plan? Love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm sure riding this thing up is like being in an airplane without a canopy.
Did you see that video of that? I think it was this one woman that a single-seater airplane and the thing comes open while she's in flight. I mean, kudos to that person for having the calmness to get that plane on the ground. I would have lost it.
They are trained for that.
I know, and it's well done. That's for sure. Oh my goodness, that just gave me anxiety watching that.
You can just see the whole thought process as everything happens. Her first reaction is to, I got to get this canopy closed. Nope, that's not going to happen. I got to go back to my training. I got to land this thing. You see the whole thought process over the next 5 seconds. All right, let's see. What's okay? So Xwell is open, looking to push higher. Maybe this sees 150.
LRMR has one red candle, and it was the pullback to the VWAP candle on the 5-minute chart. Otherwise, it's all green, still marching higher. Man, what a move.
You know what, Daniel? That's actually great that you're taking that route, because I think that when you see a move like this that you're not in and you're like, man, I wish I could be in it. I want to take it, but that's probably going to be disastrous. That's the right attitude. I'm done. I had made my money today. Come back tomorrow when there's a lot more volume. We'll have another good day. That's the way to be.
I have it too, Daniel, for whatever it's worth. I have it too on LRMR here.
That's okay. I mean, look, we're not going to catch everything. I mean, as much as we want to try and play Pokemon with this, we're gonna miss some, and that's fine, because there's always going to be more the next day. I mean, we've had these massive rippers. Remember HKD? We've had massive rippers like that, and we've still ended up seeing stuff like that happen afterwards. After we thought we'd never see something like that happen again, it will happen again. There's always another day. Important thing.
Market's still pulling back from that impulse high that it made. Part of me wonders if we're going to get a bounce if this slows down.
CDIO, any thoughts? Swing breakout? Well, let me see. I'm just really liking the price action with you right now. That kind of did a little bit of a swoop down, and now it's been coming back up. CDIO, I actually just put this on my screen to a large knifing candle here after hitting 412.
Knifed right back down to the intraday highs from yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So I could see this maybe coming up to 480, maybe 490, but we're getting to the top of this. Like if you look at the daily chart, we're getting to the top of this consolidation, and I don't know that we'll break through it or not. Maybe we will. It just depends on what the volume looks like at that time. But this is we're getting to an area where there has been historical price rejection. So that 480 to 490 area, that might be the spot where you find a significant amount of resistance, and we maybe see the price come back in a little bit, maybe go a little bit further down into the 4 handle, maybe even under 4. I don't know, but it looks to me like this consolidation that we're in right now is going to take a significant amount of volume to get through. And Tom, I think you could see that good short as early as today. Yeah.
Replay Game Lab sold a block at Alec for a 20% gain. Alec, this is actually moving up pretty nicely too. Was not on my radar here. Let me ask you: does this fill the gap on the daily chart? Replay about 310-ish in there. I think that fills the gap. Might be some more room there on Electo.
LRMR, new highs, 525 now.
And Netflix, by the way, tried for a recapture of 82. So it's a second attempt to try to get over 82 here today. Rejected. Back down towards VWAP. We'll see if that holds.
Still waiting to see if VIR is going to make a move. The volume just isn't there right now, but it's been holding above the VWAP for the majority of the morning. I think that if we just get that spike in volume, we could see this back over 1065. Seller in the way at 1048. It's got to get through first though. Okay, Xwell just went to 150, and this is the largest wick I've seen so far. If this turns around here, support's going to be down around 110. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what else we have here. It looks like the market is trying to bounce from that little bit of a pullback. I don't know if it's got the strength to do that yet. Apple, that might be marching back up towards that 274 high from earlier today.
No.
Yeah, Buffalo by bicycle. It is frustrating. I think you have to wait until what, Friday for those forms. Totally get it.
What's gold doing?
GLD. Lion's got to be here.
No, he's driving.
He's driving though. Lion, hands on the wheel. Be safe in your travels. Gold here up 0.5%. That's GLD, I should say. So the Spider Gold shares up 0.5%.
Yeah, spot price of gold is 52.14 right now. Silver back over 90 at 91.06. Copper up 602. I don't think anybody was surprised about that, given how those miners are going.
Nope. And I will send that copper stuff out that Tim referenced earlier, folks. Just give me a chance once the show ends here.
One of the stocks for the data center build out, one of the hyperscalers, Fermi, I've been keeping an eye on. This has been going sideways and it double bottomed. It just recaptured the 50-day SMA. We're now in our second day above it, but it's got resistance at about 1080. So I'm kind of waiting to see if we can get over that. There's a big gap to fill, but this is one of the big hyperscalers here in Texas. I think they're going to be out in Lubbock or Lubbock, and they are building a massive campus for a data center, complete with their own natural gas generators and eventually a nuclear power plant. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. This is the Rick Perry backed company. So just waiting to see if we've found a bottom here. If you look at a daily chart, I think you can see what I'm getting at here. It looks like we were trying to bottom with this.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to reiterate, when we looked at this last, one of the things that we pointed out was that this company doesn't expect significant amounts of profitable revenue until 12 months. And when we looked at that, it was in December. So I would expect that probably by the end of this year, we start to see some more revenue. That's the expectation anyway, that they gave us. So we'll see if that ends up happening here. But this is something to keep in mind here with Fermi. LRMR, holy smokes, is that still ripping?
We've been talking about it all day. The mover of the day, without a doubt. Without a doubt. One red candle on the 5-minute chart.
We're in that gap fill now. Let's see if it takes us to 6. Ryam wasn't bad either. Either was Xwell. That was our biggest runner. This, we were looking at this. It was over, I think it was like 150%. Now it's a 270% runner. That's a good movement here. Rocky was also really good. That still provided a trade. It's
was that still on low volume?
That was on very low volume. It still gave it when it took us up to 45. Couldn't break through it. We lost VWAP now, but it gave us something.
CRM here. This is still holding higher than yesterday. That has earnings tonight.
And Unisys broke down this. Okay, so CRM need to see recapture that 20-day SMA and 200. I want to see both. It's nice that we've kind of rounded off here. The RSI looks like we're recovering. MACD's indicating that momentum is kind of swinging back up to the toward the upside. But two areas that I need to see recaptured: that 20-day SMA and $200.
Netflix still holding under 82, but it actually looks like if it keeps doing that, it might try for 82 again here today. RX was curling, but this is back down at its VWAP.
Uh-oh, LRMR, red candle here. We got 50 seconds left. Is it going to be the second red candle of the day? We'll see. But we did come up to a bit of a resistance area in that that gap fill. Where'd that go? There it is, LRMR. Okay, so XWell still trying to push up to 150. It's looking like there's a bit of a struggle happening here with some of these. RX. This looks like this is coming to down to the 65.
I was just going to say this just broke because we were watching at 13. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think Daniel had the right idea. I mean, this is VIR. Here we go. We just had that movement we're waiting for. There we go. Finally. There we go.
There it is.
There it is. Okay, so maybe this goes up to about 11. Cranks it up to 11. I think that's where the resistance is. I'm looking at the after hours and the pre-market. That's an area that we had support that I believe is now turned into resistance. I'm only 26 cents away.
Replay Game Lab said I've been holding LRMR since November. All right, well, good for you. I mean, LRMR OG. What was your thought trade plan, I guess, for holding it? Good to see you get rewarded here today. And actually, if we take a look at this real fast, let me go back to this here real quick. So this thing's just been doing nothing but making gaps all the way up. So another fair value gap on this chart right here. Up to here. So we'll see if it comes back in. This one's unmitigated now. LMR, this has already made a huge run though, so.
Yeah, and it's dealing with the 500-day SMA right now, as well as some other resistance. And you have this gap fill that I'm sure everybody would like to see fill up to 6. But still got that resistance in the way. There's that moving average and some other previous highs. Maybe this does come back under 5 and find support from VWAP, and then it goes up to 6. Maybe, I don't know, but something to watch for.
RMR may be starting a bounce already here.
TRI getting mentioned by Alpha Trade. So it won't be killed by AI. I think one of the things that we were touching on this when it comes to AI is that if an account, there's one paid for account, if AI is given access to that, then it can just send all that information out to everybody else, essentially for free, I think is what we were kind of talking about here. This recapture of the 20-day SMA, that's encouraging. It's something we need to see on the way to fill this gap. That fills at 108.50, 56, 108.55, 56. So but we do get that gap fill, but I think that 50-day SMA is going to be the big question mark. That's going to be at about 114.30 right now. We need to recapture that. That's been kind of keeping this whole downside from going up. We had a rejection from that in October. That sent us lower. So I think that's the big moving average we need to recapture.
All right, SPY is bouncing here. So curled and moved through the VWAP here on SPY. Izzy, nope, not yet. I'm going to do what I've been saying from the beginning and wait for the overhang of the deal to be done. Hopefully I didn't miss the bottom.
Yeah, I can look at Click and VICR, and I think that would probably have to be it before I have to start jumping off here, right?
Yeah, actually, we got. So, what do you want me to put on here? We've got what? The 2 minutes? Let's see.
CLIC. the thing about this one is that it looks like it's kind of riding the 20
CLIK or
KLIC. I'm sorry,
KLIC. I got you.
Yeah, so it looks like it's just kind of riding the 20-day SMA up, but this is pretty extended on larger time frames. On the monthly chart, we actually made new what is this, all-time highs? Looks like it. This month, we broke through a resistance area of 75, and then we came back in. So looks to me like this should start to retreat a little bit. I see support at 65 and 60. So if we do end up coming back in, we're going to want to see support there. And then I think that we could end up, going back up to 75 if we do get that support. That's what it looks like on a monthly chart. I don't know if how that's going to look on a daily. We'll probably go underneath the 20-day SMA again, but it depends on how fast we recapture that. You can see in December and in February, we spent just a couple of days or several days underneath the 20-day SMA before we recaptured it. Haven't tested the 50-day SMA yet. So that's what I think is going to happen eventually. We come back down and test that 50-day SMA as support.
All right, Lion, take care of yourself.
Take care, Lion.
Travels on the road.
And then VICR. Real quick with this one. Come on. This one hit 200 and looks like this wants to come back in. Let me look at a larger time frame. This is very extended from its moving averages on larger time frames. I think this. I mean, wow, what a move this has had since October. Really, we are 187% away from the 20-month moving average. This looks like it's going to have to come back in. It's very extended. I couldn't exactly tell you where the support is. I would guess maybe about 160, 155, 160. But given how extended this thing is, I don't know where it's going to find support. It's got a silver cross, which is encouraging on a monthly chart. But like I said, it's extended. It's going to have to come back in. I would say 155, 160 is the support area.
Okay. All right. 13, any closing words here for the group?
Oh, it's a bit of a low volume day, but we still ended up getting some pretty good moves. Let's make sure we don't give any of that back. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll find some more movers. Hopefully they won't be penny stocks or ETFs, and we'll trade them. We'll make some money. It was a fun day. Let's have another fun day tomorrow. But until then, folks, have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you then. Goodbye.
All right. 13, really good stuff here. Take care of yourself. Sorry about that. Take care of yourself. We'll see you next time. We do have, looks like we have the story trading folks coming on here. We'll get that link fixed for you there, Rhett and Ben. No worries at all. In the interim, though, I am going to play an ad here for Benzinga Pro. Let me go ahead and do that. Producer, I think I just clicked this. We'll see.
Still guessing which stocks to trade? Meet the stock screener that does the heavy lifting. Filter by price, volume, change, market cap, dividend in seconds. Or rank stocks using our proprietary value, quality, momentum, or growth filters, plus dozens of additional filters just a click away. No noise, just stocks that actually matter. Scan smarter, trade faster.
All right. Really good stuff. So I think we are getting the story trading guys here. Looks like we had a little bit of a snafu with the link. I will do my best to fill some time here until they are ready to go. But look at this. We do have a bounce here on the SPY going. So maybe we can actually curl back up here. And I've got 692 as the intraday high. We'll see if that gets broken. And then otherwise, let me actually go back to that other chart tool. Let's see what level we had here on the SPY. I'll bring this back and take a look at my regular moving averages there. We got to turn these back on. Oop. Okay, so it does look like we are attempting to break to make a break in structure here, but really it sure looks like 697, 698 is going to be that spot. So plenty of work to do here. Don't know if we're going to do that here today, especially don't know if we're going to do that before we actually get the NVIDIA earnings. So, and it looks like that bounce might be stopping a little bit here. Looks like it's a tech issue. Still can't get in. All right, producer, I need some help here. What are we doing? What are we doing with the story trading folk? Just keep running through some of these stocks here real quick. XWall, that might be done. IOVA, that might be done. There we go. There we go. All right, let's bring on Ben here and see how he's doing. All right, Ben, how you doing?
All right, that finally worked.
Had trouble with the link the producer sent you?
Yeah, you had to create a new one or something. Yeah. But yeah, we're here now.
Just you. What do you got? Let me throw your screen up here. There's Rhett.
Yeah, there's Rhett. Okay.
Morning, Rhett. Sorry about the technical error. We got you though.
No, it's all good.
So it's crazy. A lot going on. I'm watching Netflix. I'm in that. I wish I had bigger size. I'm in some call options here on Netflix. Finally turn around. Ryan's gone. So it's just two of us until let's make sure to forward that new link to laptop.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I'm in some 81 weeklies on Netflix. I think after that news last night with Warner Brothers, with the higher offer from Paramount, some of the uncertainty, people are trying to get ahead of that uncertainty, assuming Paramount will get the deal. And that brings it 84.66 next target on Netflix. Man, a lot of stocks this morning hit the targets right already. A lot of them. So we can track these down. Well, Iova 433 hit 435. That was crazy. And then we have Fig, which hit our $30 target right there. It's at 30.20 right now. Number one pick of the day, Axon had a 540 target. I'm all out. I got out maybe 530 on average, even though I had a 540 target. Had to lock it in because I had a big position. Now it's crawling back up towards high of day, 536.50. So a lot of really good calls today. And Netflix, we were looking for Netflix to break the 20 DMA before we got in. We saw it break it and we're in. But taking it on the chin with RTX. RTX, I have a big position in RTX. It's down 2% today. A lot of those are call options expiring this week, next week. So trying to navigate that right now. These are 195. Yeah. So yeah, look, wow, Axon's going to go for the 540 target, isn't it? By the way, this is a great stock for your long-term account as well. That earnings last night. This is a long-term hold. They're debunking that AI disruption thesis. This was down because of the SaaS apocalypse. The SaaS apocalypse, and they totally debunked that last night. It should have never happened with Axon because their software is deeply integrated into hardware. So no up and coming AI company powered by Claude is going to disrupt the moat that Axon has. And they just crushed earnings last night. And man, I got shaken out on this dip here at a little after 10 a.m. I mean, I was still up big, so I wanted to protect my profits, but it kind of annoying me seeing it curl back up to my target that we documented at 540. So that's happening, Rhett. I'll pause there. Rhett, what's on your radar?
Give me 1 second. I don't have this pulled up. I currently didn't trade much today. I did trade Netflix. I did watch Axon with you guys as well, and Fig.
Oh, you never got into Axon? That was the number one pick of the day.
No, I did not get into Axon today. No, I was doing some light trading today. I wasn't going to trade at all, actually. So
yeah, that was a beautiful number one pick.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Wow, and look at Fig was like a number two pick of the day. That's going right to that 50 DMA, isn't it? 30.73. So I sold this a little bit early, a little before my target. So that's looking good as well. Wow, I got like Axon FOMO for the last $4, right? Yeah, I got to find a way to get this into my retirement account. That was a great report.
Yeah, it was great.
So Berna, I've been watching this since the earnings report. We killed it around the earnings report. Thankfully, missed this whole pullback. And yesterday, I loaded into $12.50 call options expiring in April. Most of this is me still. So I saw Laptop travel briefly there, but he'll be joining us soon, I think. So I think Berna has maybe turned the corner as well. We're in a little bit of a risk on bubble here, and I say bubble, it not a bubble in the. It's not the word I'm trying to say. Risk on island, let's say, right on either end of risk off, because I think this is not going to last too long. We got what's up, Laptop? We got NVIDIA this afternoon. And we have maybe what's going on with Iran. Look at this. Axon about to hit our target. I freaking sold it like 530 average, left $10 on the table. But what a beautiful call this morning. Hey, you doubted me on this one Laptop this morning. You're like, I don't know about that. I don't like that chart. 540 was the target. Look at this. Wow.
Well, if you back out and look at a 15-minute chart, you'll see why.
Let's see. How can I pull up a 15-minute chart here? 15-minute chart. Okay, here's a 15-minute chart.
Yeah, so we were talking about that at like 9:05, 9:10.
Yeah, over here. And I was buying the dip. I was buying all these dips in pre-market. I went to 25% allocation. So that was a beautiful top pick of the day. You do your homework, you get paid. I was on the conference call last night, listened to the whole thing. It was a brilliant conference call. Anyway, just feeling a little salty that I sold it 530 instead of closer to 540, but I guess that's how it goes. Anyway, I'll pause right there. We're looking at Netflix. You still on Netflix?
I am. No, I'm not in.
You killed it, though.
We did that on the show.
Yeah, you killed it. You had decent size. My size is kind of small. So
huge size.
Yeah, that was crazy. Good for you. And then RTX, we're bottom. Did he get into the RTX finally or no? You're frozen. Laptop's frozen.
But at any price.
Or maybe it's my computer. Someone's frozen. RTX.
I feel like I'm lying.
Oh, there you go. RTX bounced right off the 50, and we were right there loading up. I was right there loading up on call options. I know you were trying to get them. Did he ever get filled on any?
Never. At any price. Could not get Webull to give me one.
Oh, I have so many of them. It's ridiculous. I got to start taking some profits or something soon somewhere. So why don't I do that a little bit? You take over for a minute while I try to take a quick scalp win on RTX here.
Okay, so my big plug for the day is everybody sees what color tie I'm wearing. It's not gold, it's silver. So I'm really big on silver. I've been playing the SLV ETF, and we got into it at $70.50 last week. I put that out for the Discord members, and we're fighting 82 right now. My short-term target is $86, and I think silver has a long way to go. You know, we had that huge precipitous drop several days ago, and we have regained strength from that. Asia continues to be a driving force here as China is really cracking down, and you know, the people are accumulating, and there's a global. I think there's a global shortage that we've outstripped demand, I believe, by 30%, or we'll be at 30% shortage by the end of the year. So long term.
Did you hear him, Rhett? Is that him or is that us?
No, I think he just cut. I don't know. I think he may have just cut out there.
Yeah, he keeps cutting out. That's him. That's not us.
I'm sorry.
There you are.
I've been okay.
They hear you again.
No, we can hear you again. You're good.
And so I'm cautiously watching PayPal right now. I think that PayPal is a great opportunity. I'm in the I'm in the call options on PayPal with the $47.50 that at the time was in the money for March 26th call. I'm sorry, March 20th calls. which I paid $247 for. Right now we're at 204, so that's not.
Yeah, I
That's
got
not
in at the
pretty.
same time you did. I followed you on that.
Awesome. And just like that, our number one pick of the day just hit our 540 target.
Oh my
And
gosh!
we
I
all
can't
kept
believe
getting
I,
that yesterday.
I can't believe I didn't stick around for it.
Good job, Ben.
I made over 10 grand though, so guess I shouldn't complain too much. But I
They hit
really wanted
full
to add
time as
this to my
well.
retirement account. Really want to get this in my retirement. Honestly, let's see where it can go now. 554 to 600 like over the next few days. I'm not sure about today. What do you think about today, laptop? Now that it hit that target, that was the 50 DMA. So it's over the 50. Does this keep running today?
Let's get technical.
Let's get technical.
One. Wow. Yeah, I think it does.
Keeps running today.
I'm looking at 190.
Look at it go. I should have added this to my retirement account.
I'm looking at the wrong stock. I'm
What?
sorry. I was looking at the wrong stock. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at this, this is what this was 885 or something. Yeah, 885.
Yeah.
5 months ago,
Mhm.
6 months ago. 30. We'll get 30% of that back in the short term.
Yeah. Yeah, 570 to 20-week moving average. I like that for the next target. 570, 20-week moving average. Look at this go. Oh my gosh, if I kept my entire position. I just added some back to my retirement account. I think I sold at 550 on the way down.
Yeah.
So back in
Folks,
after it's de-risked
folks, I
here.
just want to put a plug for the Discord. We have a great Discord. Ben's fantastic at some of his calls. I wish that Ben would join the Discord and listen to his own advice sometimes.
I know. I should.
but I mean, really, we're making money every day, and we're trying to beat the SPY every day. So that's a great call. It was and you bought it yesterday before the earnings call. You want to talk
I
about
did.
that?
I did that too. Yeah. Well, look, we go through about 3:00, 3:30. I get on live stream and we look at all the earnings that are coming up. And for the most part, my game is to get in after earnings. But sometimes when there's a company I know really well, I'll do like a 2 or 3% common share position into the report. So we went through the whole list, and the two that I decided to get into are Axon and TMDX. And they both paid off well immediately and after hours. But that was smaller money, and then I listened to the conference call, and then I just loaded the boat at 510 average. Or no, and my average ended up being 505 because it dropped in pre-market. So I got like $20 out of it, 505 to 525. Look at ran another or maybe $25 to 530. Another $15 since then. But yeah, I go through that routine every day. Today, we'll get on live stream at about 3 p.m. and there's a whole bunch of earnings today, including NVIDIA, which you know of. But we got Coors, CORZ, Redwire, Root, Joby, Teladoc, IonQ, C3AI, Snowflake, Zoom, Salesforce.com or Salesforce, Sezzle, GoodRx. We got a ton of them. So I basically get a document ready with analyst estimates for the quarter, for next quarter, full year, next year. I get the times that the earnings reports are going to be released. I get the Benzinga Pro up, and I have a filter for all those ERs that are coming out. And then we analyze the stuff in real time. And, within a half hour or so, I'll kind of get on the Discord and be like, hey, these are the top standout ERs of the night, right? I make that, as Dougie was saying earlier in our other stream, I make that assessment pretty quickly. And with some of them, I'll jump on the conference calls like I did on both TMDX and Axon. I listened to the full conference calls for both of them last night, and then that helps us derive kind of what are top picks for the next day are going to be. And as a
So,
result
so
of all
Ben,
that,
can I ask you something? When you're listening to the conference calls, I've just started doing this myself. Are you using like an app to transcribe it yourself and
I use the Quarter app. It has a real-time transcription going. He keeps like rubber banding. Yeah, it's QUARTR. So I use the Quarter app. But as a result of that, I removed TMDX from our top trades this morning. Last night I was like, yeah, Axon and TMDX and Zeta were the top ERs of the night. And I think there was one more I added this morning. Which one was the one I added this morning? After it was early, it was Circle. Oh, and that's another one that hit our target, Rhett. Circle hit,
yeah.
I mean,
That
there's
was
so
more,
many stocks. At 6:30 a.m. in the Discord, I gave a 72.50 target on Circle when the thing was like 68. So, but anyway, after listening to the conference calls, I decided to drop TMDX from the top picks list today and stick with Axon with the 540 target. And you can see this is really a function of being on the conference calls that I was able to get this right. Wow, crazy. But I have
you actually convinced me to bail on it because I picked up some after the report.
Yeah,
I'm following you, but I bailed last night, so I only escaped with a small
wow.
loss instead of a big
how
one.
many stocks hit my target today? It's ridiculous. Probably like five of them or something.
Yeah, and then we have some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
So someone's talking about PayPal. Gave it to you guys last week at 38. Jay Rice, Izzy's asking about Lucid. You still have it, laptop, and then they're talking about home builders.
Whoa! One at a time. One at a time. What was the first one with PayPal?
So the first one will just be Lucid laptop. Do you still have it?
No, do not have it. Closed out all my options that I was doing. So the returns or the
keeps rubber banding.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here with the connection today.
A heck of a time with Mike today.
No, it's all good.
No longer in Lucid. Got that.
Yeah, and they burned $1.2 billion in a quarter, and there's no way around it. They're going to have a dilution, so definitely walked away from that. Let's see what happens when they come back in March 12th for Investor Day and see what they have to say. But I wouldn't touch it here.
Awesome.
Look at Axon. This is how I like to pick them. Number one pick of the day. It's basically up and to the right all day. Up and to the right all day. That's what I look for. That's what I try to find when I'm looking at the catalyst and the sentiment, fundamentals, technical. I try to find these but it's I'm not always successful. Sometimes you'll go down before you go up. And that sometimes tricks me and shakes me out. But thankfully this one didn't have too much of a downturn. So it's that's not bad, right? Like if we go negative, it has happened. I was just talking about this. Like it's up 24%. There have been times there have been like standout ERs, and I'm like really bullish on it. And then within the first 5 minutes, the stock goes red, like beyond the gap fill, and I'll get shaken out. And then it'll just explode and be up 20% anyway over the next 2 days. Like sometimes I lose money on those, and it's really frustrating. So this is the perfect scenario where it didn't even do a full gap fill, and it was basically up and to the right the whole day. Just a little bit of correction that I actually bought this dip here, so that was great.
Awesome.
Anyway,
our next questions about Home Builders Week. Low and HD gave it all back, as well as XHB. You guys have any comments on home building and home builders?
Not me. I don't trade or invest in the home sector at all. How about you, Laptop?
Yeah. So where I stand on this right now is waiting for Trump talked about bigger tax rebates.
Oh my gosh! Just sorry. Look at this for context. I guess this is why the question's being asked. The nail ETF, which is it 3 times? Yeah, it's 3x, down 13%. So the housing sector is down about 4% or so, over 4% today. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so I would re-enter the housing segment or the rebuilders or remodelers like Home Depot and Lowe's, if we see that there's going to be some traction here with money like incentive checks coming to the government. We've talked about before about a tariff rebate, uh, which I don't know, it doesn't hold much water with me, but Trump and the administration is talking about getting more money into the pockets of the people this tax season. So if that were to happen, I definitely see a lot of money going into housing and into home remodeling. But at this point, I wouldn't. I do want to say for PayPal though, huge dip. I think that PayPal is a great opportunity to buy out rumors. It's stupid cheap, and I don't use stupid in an insulting way. I mean,
Is
if you
there
look
any
at
concern
the value.
though? Back in, yeah, it is stupid cheap, but what if their growth is slowing? What if they're losing market share? Because it was back in, I guess, September, where the CFO made some comments that he was blaming it on the macro, that they're seeing a little bit of slowdown. And then again, uh, they continued disappointing with their results like 3 months later. And at that point, to me, it was clear because in between, I didn't really observe a slowdown with their competitors. I don't know. I don't go into the minutia of PayPal, but in terms of like saying it's cheap and fair value and all that, um, what if they're losing market share? Like, maybe you can't throw a 20 P on this. Maybe it deserves the slower P that it does have. P ratio forecast is 9. So how do you consider that in terms of where a buyout might take place at?
You know what? They own Venmo, and Venmo is expanding. I think at the last numbers we heard from PayPal at 20%. So I mean, there is, and some new leadership in PayPal, and again, you can't get away. Stripe has been rumored as wanting PayPal.
Yeah, that's the big news yesterday that caused
Yeah.
this next leg up.
And I don't think they'd be alone.
Yeah, the Bloomberg report yesterday actually said there are multiple suitors. And there's one large company maybe looking to buy out the whole company. And then Stripe was like, they want to buy pieces of PayPal or something like that. So they have multiple parties that are circling right now. So you would add more on this dip. Let me see. My position size was, oh shoot, I bought common shares this morning, which I'm down on. March 20th, 47.50. Would you average down on this dip right here?
Let's see. I have been.
All right.
Today I have made 3 purchases.
All right, there you go. I just added a little bit more.
I'm hesitant to add on this name. I think it'll eventually get sold off again.
Yeah.
PayPal?
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
the thing I worry about is timing.
Yeah.
That,
Sure.
it could take, I'm in these, what did I get? March 20th. It could take months, before they're bought out. That's my worry.
Yeah,
What was
definitely.
the other recent PayPal? Recent buyout that we were all holding on to.
CWAN, CWAN.
Yep.
Yeah, it took like 3 months.
And then we have some more questions here. You guys, any optical names? Yeah, Godfather gave us a few. One of them is LITE. I think he commented on that one today. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look at that. He gave it to us. This is one of his core ideas.
Whoa, did they?
He re-highlighted it this morning at 7 a.m. He will be back probably in like a month or so, I would say. But he's still coming in, giving us his thoughts and ideas, and he's been crushing it this year. It's been on fire.
Yeah, he has been. LITE, was there news? Why is this up? February 25th. Let's see, Benzinga. Wire. We got. Why is it up so much? There's got to be a reason. Let's see.
I mean, this sector's been hotter than, like Jay Rice is saying. I gotta agree with him. Than memory right now.
It's been hotter than memory.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see any news, and you know what? I don't know the sector at all. I don't
Really?
know. I don't know the sector.
Look at the weekly chart on this stock.
Yeah, it's crazy.
insane.
Wow, this is
Yeah.
crazy. I don't know this sector.
This reminds me of like that crazy run we had in SanDisk. Starting to look.
Wow. What's driving the sentiment in this sector?
Hold on.
It's related to the AI data center build out.
Hold on.
Optimal
Godfather
photonic components.
commented a great thing on it. Where's that?
AI, machine learning. I don't know anything. I don't know any of these stocks except maybe Plab. Does Plab count? Is that photonics? Wow, and Plab actually exploded after the earnings report this morning. I was looking at that. And I'm like, it was just a small beat. So I did not recommend Plab. Wow, yeah. I wish I was on top of every single sector, but fortunately I'm not. RTX still moving. Great call by you on Iova. Earnings, you were in this before the earnings report. After it, I played it just a little bit. I gave a 433 target. It hit 435, but I did not really play it except for a small scalp. Shame on me. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
think this week I gave 3 biotechs, but I've been following religiously a long time VKTX, AQST, and IOVA.
Yeah, I still own VKTX. I've owned it for like 3 years in my retirement account.
Wow, we should have listened to Godfather the first time when he gave us this LITE.
Yeah.
You don't even want to know the price he went long at first.
How what?
$57.
He kept it the whole time?
I don't know. I gotta ask him.
I doubt
That's
it.
when he went long in the community.
Yeah.
At what number?
57. It was back here. I think it was 710.24.
Wow.
712.
10 bag over a 10 bagger. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never researched this company. I don't know anything about it. Zilch, zero, nothing.
Because he's also, I think it was AAOI. He's also been in for a while. All those names he has comments on. Save it for the community though.
Yeah, we
really taken off this month.
Wow, AAOI is taking off too. Wow,
Well,
I don't know. Wow, what am I missing here? Yeah, I have not been in this sector.
This is why he's outperforming the market significantly because of these names.
Yeah.
And all those.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't been around to really educate us and brainwash us on it. Like repeat it. Get in. Can't wait till he comes back. But yeah, I don't know this sector at all. So unfortunately.
Then we have a few. Everyone's asking about IBM. Your thoughts there?
I don't know when this SaaS apocalypse, what the hell you call it? SaaS apocalypse. Hard to say. SaaS apocalypse. Okay. It's up 3.5%. I talked about this morning, and I'm like, I'm not smart enough to figure out where the low is going to be in IBM. Like for me, it was easy to. Axon got killed by this also, but Axon had a nice catalyst, an earnings report. I understand the business model. I understand how deeply integrated their software is into their hardware, and that that earnings report debunked that thesis that caused this SaaS apocalypse drawdown. For IBM, I just don't have a comfort. Like I'm not gonna. Maybe laptop you can trade on this based on technicals, but for me to give you advice on this, I would have to understand this code thing that Cobalt is it called? I don't know.
You're talking about CloudBot. That's
the CloudBot. I'm talking about the specific language that only IBM knows how to deal with, and that's what caused it acutely to go down. But I just don't know enough about it to have any sort of conviction. As I'm not a technical trader. So without really understanding the issue, I'm staying away from it. But I would imagine it comes back. It's IBM, but I don't know. Any thoughts on that laptop?
No, this is one of those stories that we'll have to bear out and see what really.
There's going to be some. I think there's there is some truth to this AI disruption, but I think there's going to be winners and losers, right? The ones that are vertically integrated and have hardware integrations and have big ecosystems and stuff like that, they're going to come out even better than before. because they're going to have their own AI efficiencies and everything that's going to help improve their margins, and no one's going to displace them. But I don't know how much of IBM's business is that code language, and I don't know if it's deeply integrated with hardware, if it's just software. So I can't really tell you anything about it. There will be some losers. There will be some losers, and as big as IBM is, I can't guarantee that this portion of their business, without doing the homework, is it a pure software play that can get disrupted or not? I have no idea. My guess is probably not. My guess is there's a lot more around that ecosystem that'll make it impossible to be disrupted. But that's just a guess. So Axon, a little bit of pullback, 552 to 543. Wow, yeah, I have no exposure to these photonics companies. Crazy moves that I've missed all of that this year.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that sector was going up until you mentioned it right now.
Really?
I had no idea. Well, who's been talking about it?
Well, I've been following along with Godfather on that. His comments.
I mean, I haven't seen much chatter.
AOI was a bigger one.
I missed that whole thing.
The only one I have been following was the one when I did some research on germanium and trying to eliminate that in photonic companies. But other than that, I haven't really been. I've been looking more at those for military purposes.
Hey, you know what? I'm taking my profit on these 195s since they expire this week. I'm keeping next week's 197.50s, but made some good money here, at least percentage-wise, on these RTX calls we picked up right at the low of the day. So I'm out of that now, the 195s for this week. What I picked up for next week are the 197.50. Yesterday, I picked up the 202.50. So I'm kind of shifting to next week's because this week's are all but worthless right now. Lost a good amount of money on this week's call options. Last week, I killed it on RTX calls, but we'll see. Always. Can you believe Barclays maintained their overweight on HIMS today with a pretty high price target? Did you see that? They're like the only ones. Barclays maintains overweight, lowers price target to 25. Basically, every single other analyst downgraded their price target. Citigroup maintains a sell. A bunch of them reiterated holds but lowered their price targets. It was only Barclays maintaining overweight on HIMS. They did lower the price target from 48 to 25, but I don't get it at this point. I don't. It's gonna have a dead cat bounce here, I think. Maybe the gap fill over there, like 19, maybe. But if you're a growth company trading at growth multiples, you're not allowed to miss on revenue. Like that's a deal breaker. That's like a throw this thesis away, like get the hell out kind of thing. Like maybe some value investors will start stepping in, and maybe that's what we're seeing here the last couple of days. But like growth investors, you can't be in this thing when their revenue is missing substantially on the revenue guide. The revenue growth, they're slowing on the top line. And then they have all these regulatory issues and the threat of prosecution by the DOJ for what happened last week, with the GLP-1s the other week. Because if you assume no growth and you look at their EPS, so their EPS, you're jumping to Benzinga Pro, is 8 cents. Okay. So what if their growth stalls and they just do 8 cents a quarter? That's 32 cents a year. Okay. And then you take $16 and divide it by 32 cents. That's a 50 PE. So I don't know. I said this the other day. Who knows if I'm going to be right or wrong? But I gave a near-term price target of $10 on this. I thought this thing was going to roll over and within a couple of weeks be at $10. So I might be wrong. Seeing this Barclays reiterating overweight gives me some pause on that thesis. Like maybe there's enough value investors out here who like this. But even though it's been destroyed, when you do the math on this, I just don't think it can be valued as a growth company anymore. So
yeah, another one I want to mention, it's not growth companies. This is just one that's running today. Is LRMR? Izzy called this out in the community at $5 to me. He said it's going to 6, and this thing's at 574 is the high. I did not trade it.
Larimar, yeah, I don't. Wow, look at that, 55%. Ooh, I don't know anything about this. They must have had news, right?
I would assume.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this company.
It's the day 2
Wednesday, Wedbush reiterates outperform, maintains 11 target. Yesterday, trading higher after the company announced the FDA has granted breakthrough therapy designation. Hey, how come like IMRX never acted like that after they got all those beautiful FDA designations?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it did have its moments.
And then I found.
um,
Wow. I guess I just gotta play like some of these stocks when Godfather gives them and just leave them and forget about them. AAOI, he put out a swing alert when it was $8.50.
Yeah, we played it, but he wasn't in it the whole time. I was playing AOI back then with him. And,
yeah, he bought it then, but then he bought it. He said he's long and holding it long term at 25.
Oh wow, really?
So yeah, I'm looking at it now.
So yeah, I missed this whole sector, fortunately.
So I see a question there on Poly, and I really like Poly here. It's Peter Alpha Lima India, and I think we're at $1.86. Yeah, biotechs are going to have a run here, but really strong company, have really high price targets, and it's liked by a lot of analysts. It's just got some new upgrades from analysts, and I definitely think this is an easy stock to double really soon.
Stifel initiates coverage. This is today. Stifel on Benzinga Pro. Stifel initiates coverage on Palisade Bio. $5. That came out today.
Yeah.
Monday, February 23rd. New data and stuff. By the way, I'm looking at Benzinga Pro. If you're interested in that, you can get the 1-year plan of Benzinga Pro at a 55% discount. Use code StoryTrading55. By the way, Benzinga, I have no idea how to check if anyone signed up for that. We'll have to look into it one day. Honestly, I'm not really doing it for the money or anything. Just doing it to support you guys. You support us. I want to support you. And I love what you guys do. But maybe one day we'll take a peek at that to see if anyone's actually using the code. But anyway, it's a Story Trading 55 if you want 55% off to join Benzinga Pro. I love it. Use it all the time. Got one screen on it, open pretty much at all times. All right. What else we got going on here? Fig hit our target and turned right around. That was a perfect call. $30 target getting rejected at the 50 DMA. Air, my gosh. Air, I added this to my retirement account. Increased my position after the earnings report with a $50 to $100 target for 2026. And I'm just so salty that I made a lot of money that day in my trade account, but I missed this whole thing in my trade account. The pullback opportunity, this move up, got it in my retirement account, missed it in the trade account because I was worried about macro stuff, unfortunately. And here it goes. This is a short squeeze right now, guys. This is 100% short squeeze action. I don't know what to look for on the chart necessarily. I just know that any kind of short thesis has been debunked with that latest AI contract win. And I know the short position is very high here at 4.6 million divided by 29 million. What is that? Like a 20% short position with the stock at a 52-week high with an inflection catalyst. So I just know that shorts have to cover. That's all I know. I don't know, Laptop, if you see anything in the price action that indicates they are covering or that this is a short squeeze. You're more of an expert on that than myself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looking at the volume spikes there. Rates this.
I didn't catch that. You were rubber banding, but the volume spikes here. Is that your clue that these are shorts covering? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Started for yesterday morning.
Yeah, I did notice
The big peak.
yesterday. Yep. Mhm.
FIGR unusual activity on options. The 110 calls 3/20/2026, 23 days out. And then Ross is saying the CEO supposedly telling shorts to watch out ERs tomorrow.
FIGR, never heard of this company. Figure Technology up 11%. Wow, this has been beaten down. Is this a SaaS company that got killed? Blockchain name cabinet that connects to secondary activity business through. I don't know. Just looking at the chart, it looks like it might be SaaS. I don't know the business model here, what product they're offering, but yeah, I think a lot of these. This is what we saw with Axon. That's a blueprint. That's a blueprint. If you can identify these SaaS companies that have been destroyed, and I'm just again, this may not be a SaaS, but just a general comment. If you can identify these SaaS companies that have been destroyed, and then look for catalysts that kind of debunk that a little bit, as soon as you get a little debunking of that, the AI disruption, you're going to see 20, 30, 40% moves within a span of a couple days. Maybe that's what's going on here on FIGR. Earnings options, yeah, I don't know about that stuff. I'm not really a money flow trader, and I don't really play earnings unless I know the company well, but that's just my observation there that could be related to that.
Yeah, I don't think it's related to the SaaSpocalypse.
Yeah, SaaSpocalypse. Yeah, are you familiar with Figure? I've never actually heard of them.
A little bit, yeah. I think disappointing earnings.
$7 billion company. They had a disappointing earnings. What do you say about the earnings?
Disappointing earnings.
When? Last quarter?
The
earnings are
tomorrow.
Today. Tomorrow.
You
know what? I'll add it to my morning note for tomorrow because I did not have that on my radar. So let me do that right now. Tomorrow, FIGR. Is it before or after the close? Let me see if I can find that. FIGR. FIGR.
After the market close.
After? Oh, you beat me to it. Okay. So I'll put that in here. So that's tomorrow after the market close, along with AAOI, by the way. And Dell and Wolf and XYZ and Rocket Lab. A lot of interesting ERs this week. A ton of them. All right.
Yeah, Rocket Lab.
So put that on the ER list.
Oh. Him's crashing now.
Yeah, I'm still short. I did cover some here near the low of day. I got lucky on that, but I still have a bunch.
1650.
Wow, 1644.
Oh, look at that, 1644. I said it would turn at 1650.
It's oversold at the moment though, intraday. So, hey, Rhett, have you seen? Are people still on social media, like the meme crowd? Are they still bullish hymns, or are they bailing?
A lot of them were bailing after that. So I have seen a few people that are sticking the super ultra bulls on the company.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that's like the Wall Street memes crowd, they were bailing that were in this name from early on.
They're bailing before the earnings report or after the earnings report?
After the earnings report, which I was surprised. Most of those guys have like diamond hands, so to see them bail is something.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's almost a golden rule. If you miss on revenue guide as a growth company, like stick a fork in it. So We'll see if this works out. I'm definitely a little bit nervous that it could just have a oversold bounce to like 19 or something. But if it does, that's gonna be like one of the best plays of the year. To short hims at like this gap area at like 1950, declining 20 DMA, it might meet it there. I mean, it's hard to imagine that it will do that, but it's so oversold. I guess anything's possible. But that's going to be a crazy gift to short if that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, just a few things.
Look at this. Look at our targets hitting and then pulling back. So beautiful.
Yeah, Netflix still climbing.
Still in Netflix, but only 10 contracts. I had 30 of them. I sold 20. I think I'm gonna keep. It's such a small position now. I think I'm gonna keep it because I have an 84 at this point. My next target is 84. It's just sticking out like a sore thumb, right here.
I see some resistance here, though. I mean, if you look at it.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about a swing. I don't mean today. 84.66. I'm talking about a swing target. There is a bunch of resistance levels today still.
Yeah, 82.30 is the one I have. You put it on a daily chart, just draw a line across. You zoom out. Look at that.
Yeah,
and that's exactly the high today. So we'll have to see a lot more volume. And
this is a nice curl here. To be honest with you, it looks like it might break that 82.30. But yeah, no, my target's more of a swing target, and it will be the declining 50. We'll see where that ends up. So maybe that declining 50 will come and coincide with about 85. It depends how quickly this moves up. But like I would say like 84 to 86 range is the swing target. Who knows? I mean, it could happen today because 84 to 86 is only $2 to $4 more from here. It's up $4 today, so it's not out of the question. But I would think you'd need Warner Brothers to say we're taking. They said they're considering it. So if something comes out saying, okay, we're no longer recommending Netflix, we want to take I don't know how the logistics or the legalities work around that, but they say, okay, we're going to take the Paramount offer. Then I think this straight line goes to that 50 DMA. And so if it happens soon, the 50 DMA doesn't even have time to decline. So then you could go to 86.50.
Yeah. And you have, I think, what is it, a little gap at like 87 something on the daily? Hold on.
Yeah. No, I like the 86.50 better because it's also a double resistance right here with this candle. The gap is like 87. Somewhere around 87.
What do you think about? There's a lot of big earnings after the close tonight.
I know, a ton of them. Yeah, so we're going to be covering them, right? So let me just repeat the ones on my radar. If there's any that you guys think should be added to this list, let me know. So I said this earlier. I'm going to repeat it again. Sezzle, SEZL, GoodRx, Coors, CORZ, Redwire, Root, Joby, Teladoc, IonQ, C3AI, Snowflake, Zoom, Salesforce, NVIDIA. That's what I have now. If there's any others you want me to add to that list, let me know. We'll add it to the list, and then at around 3, we'll live trade from like 3 to 5 p.m., something like that, for 2 hours, preparing for the ERs and then quickly analyzing the PRs after the close.
Did you have synopsis?
No. What's the ticker symbol for that?
Sierra Nancy Peters Sierra.
SNPS? No, that's SNPs. No, it's Synopsis.
It is an SNPS.
Oh, Synopsis. Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then the other one, we added Trade Desk, right?
No, I heard it. I'm not so interested in Trade Desk. I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm going to cover it. I'll add it for now to the list. TTD. Wow, that's a terrible chart. TTD. I'll add it, but yeah. I may have to cover it because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's like 15 of them. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. If the times are staggered when they come out, I'll check the time what time these guys release. If the times are staggered, we'll do our best to cover as many as possible, but I'll have to triage as we usually try to triage. We'll do that.
Wow, look at that. I guess you guys could have caught that for an extra 25 cents from 5.75 to 6. Izzy was right on the money, hit the $6 target, LRMR.
Oh, LRMR. Oh,
Just
nice.
hit the target of 6. Congrats.
Cool. Wow, look at that. Very nice.
From 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so many opportunities everywhere. You can't be everywhere. You gotta choose something to focus on. RTX, that was a great buy. Oh my gosh. There at the bottom, low of day. I sold like half of it already, I think. Let me see what I.
You know what stock has been consolidating a lot is the hat I'm wearing right now, ASTS. I think it's setting up pretty nicely. We have some upcoming catalysts with launch coming up. And it's just been consolidating up here, and it has a nice base around like 80 to 78 bucks. Keeps dipping down there. Looks like all these dips are getting bought. So,
So I see in that chart, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3 more days. So Thursday, Friday, maybe Monday, maybe buy it late Friday,
yep.
and it's gonna pop on Monday.
Oh, yeah, unless we go into Iran this weekend.
Wait,
I mean-
Beyond reports tonight?
I was thinking it. I didn't say it, but I was
Beyond
thinking.
me.
Oh, look at figures still going. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, I've been wrong about that for about 6 weekends in a row right now, but I think eventually I'll be right. Eventually, yeah, the USO calls I buy on a Friday will pay on a Monday eventually. Okay, air at high of day.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All great stuff there.
Just want to reiterate Berna here.
Berna daily chart looks great as well.
I know this company pretty well. I was on the conference call. We nailed this whole price action around earnings. Avoided it here. Back in at just the right time, or nick of time here. I think it's heading to in the near term to 1550. If the market cooperates, it's going to head to 1550.
AMPX is taking
and
off.
AMPX was a top pick of the day. I got a big position in it. I don't think we talked about it yet. That was a top pick of the day. Yeah, I loaded up yesterday. Gave the alert yesterday.
Look at that last candle on the 5-minute chart.
Yeah, nice. In fact, maybe I'll scalp around the core here because I'm up nicely on it. Picked up a 7% common share position yesterday. What was my target for the day? It was 1140. And honestly, I think it's going to explode above this week. Probably, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably this week. I'm in the April $12 calls. I was in the March 10s, but I sold that this morning for a nice gain. I think I'm going to keep those expired this week, so I wanted to be quick to take a profit on those. The April 12, I think I'm going to keep. You know what? I'm going to try to trade around the core and the common shares here because I got in at 1076. I'm up like 60 cents on it now. So thanks for that alert. Just sold half of it now. It's going higher, but I'm just seeing if I can get back in lower here before the end of the day.
And my silver is coming back right now, folks.
You've been all over silver. Good job. Amazing.
We're going.
Yeah.
So I want to reiterate something I said on the previous show is rare earth minerals. If you look at rare earths today, lithium, drones, quantum, all these sectors that we really liked.
Look at this chart. By the way, I just discovered this rare earth ETF. I didn't even know about it. REMX. I must have known about it because it was on my watch list, but I got reminded about it yesterday.
Yeah.
So REMX, this is an ETF of rare earths, and look at this chart. RSI is not. I mean, this thing's exploding above 102.40. I don't really recognize too many of the names in it though. MP is in it. Figure out how to. Well, I'm checking because I don't know how to do this on desktop, but on the phone, I'm able to look up their holdings pretty quickly. 1 second. OPTX up 10%. Looks like a big risk on day today. All right, so we got
We have 2 minutes.
Yeah. Hold on. I just want to look asset allocation on these rare earths. I don't know what Albemarle Corporation is. I have no idea what that is. There's China Northern Rare Earth High Tech Company. I don't know. There's Linus Rare Earth is in there. XIAMEN Tungsten. This doesn't give me ticker symbols. The only one I recognize is MP. There's Almonte Industries. There's MP at 5%. But yeah, sometimes I struggle with which rare earth to buy when rare earths are in play. So this might be something to consider in the future when you think the sector's in play. So REMX.
Yeah, Albemarle is a huge global company. They are involved in transforming some of the minerals or some of
Albemarle.
the mined things into the finished metals.
Albemarle. ALB. It's a $23 billion company. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of themes that I was not on top of this year. Could be doing better. I mean, I'm up 36% for the year, but I could have been more like the Godfather, up like 400% for the year.
Yeah, I want to see what he's at now.
My gosh, that's crazy. Well, you only get that if you're heavy on call options, but which I'm usually not. But that's pretty impressive. All right, our time is up. If you want to join us, head on over to our profile on Story Trading.
Right here, one last thing. AMPX was also a top pick today. That just exploded in the last couple of minutes. 1140 was our target. Hit 1138.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep,
Just
I
wanna throw that out
know.
there.
Almost all of our targets hit today. Anyway, if you want to join us, head on over to our X profile, and you can find the Discord link there. Or go to Laptop Travels profile. If you like the value Laptop Travel brings, go to his profile instead of ours, so you can get credit for that. And we'll see you in our Discord. We'll be live in our Discord at around 3 p.m. till about 5 p.m. for after hours trading.
Sounds
Take care.
good. Take care,
Yep.
everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.